I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it no more.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. You got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA boxing.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to another BD Boxing podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. It's your good friend, Mr. BDA, and I sure am glad. That's right, sure I'm glad that everybody could be on board for this one. Fellas, in this episode, we got a fantastic one for you. A lot of intrigue, a lot of drama, a lot of suspense, a lot of whodunits. I'm telling you, this is boxing. There's nothing quite like boxing. And I'm glad to be able to partake in the discussion of this fine sport that we call pugilism. Fellas, thank you for joining us. We'll appreciate it. Before we get down to the fun and start previewing this fight tomorrow, it's going to be taking place tomorrow, let's get the business out of the way. You guys know the drill. If you want to donate a couple of shekels our way, you're certainly welcome to do so via the Buy Me a Coffee app, link in the description. You can also join the Patreon for free. You still get free content, but you can also donate as much or as little as you want. There's no obligation to do so, but it does help us out if you sign up either way. Don't forget, you can check us out on Spotify, iTunes, and Spreaker at your leisure. And that's about it. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Yeah, check out our secondary channel, BDA Clips. I just posted yesterday, was it? Or the day before yesterday, a little preview of Berinchyk versus Keyshawn Davis. That was before this whole mess started. I mean, some people call it a mess. I call it the harvest. We take a mess and we harvest it into golden wheat. And that's what we're going to be trying to do here. Might be opening up the phone lines as well in about half an hour or so. Depends on how everything goes. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Zanfer, Grim Reaper, Hard Recoil, Dark Dog, The Hand History Vault, The Quags. Shout out to The Quags. To Matador, Blue Tack, Quick Sloth, World Boxing Nomad, Rap Axe Trucking Company 10-4, Mars Boxeo, Alejandro Marquez, Trooper 5131, Alejandro Solis, King Sloth. Shout out to Quick Sloth. Solbers is in there. Hyperspaz, LT in the house. Saludos, carnal, as he always says. He says, okay, that's not the real LT. Fuck it. Fight or Flight Boxing, John Doe, and many more people to come, I'm sure. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. All right. Allow me 2 seconds to call a couple of people over here so that we can really start getting down to the nitty-gritty, find out what happened, try to see if we can get to the bottom of what exactly occurred or has been occurring with this Keyshawn Davis and Dennis Berinchyk fight taking place tomorrow, on the morrow. So hold on a second. I'll make sure everything's up to code here with this phone call. All right. And yeah, so tomorrow we've got via ESPN. It's a set of decent fights, let me tell you. We've got Dennis Berinchyk taking on the undefeated Keyshawn Davis. Actually, Berinchyks undefeated too. 19-0 with 9 knockouts. Keyshawn Davis 12-0 with 8 knockouts. And in the undercard, you have a decent matchup between undefeated junior middleweight stars, or up-and-comers, excuse me. Xander Zayas, who's 20-0, taking on Slawas Palmer, 20-0. This guy looks decent. He looks strong. He looks like he turns his punches over. Like I said, he's undefeated. So usually undefeated guys in general don't want to surrender their record without a fight. So we'll see what happens tomorrow with that one. You also got Abdullah Mason fighting. You got the legend, Nico Ali Walsh, which I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but he's related to Muhammad Ali. It's a fun little fact to throw out there, but just, people, I think a lot of people out there don't know about that. So you got a nice boxing card tomorrow, and then on Saturday you got Jack Carroll versus Barboza. A lot of people are expecting it's going to be a snoozer, but you also have Oscar Duarte fighting later that night on the zone. So it should be an interesting one for sure. All right, I see we got a whole bunch of people here. We got Sobers, we've got Gonzalo, and we got the boxing chief jumping in, guys. Good to have you on board. What was it? Yes. Well, I was going to say that we should start with talking about the fight itself before moving on to the drama that's transpired in the last 36 hours. How do you guys see the Berinchyk-Keyshawn Davis fight unfolding? Come on.
I see Keyshawn. He might just...
That sounded like Solvers, by the way.
I see Keyshawn Davis might just be too big for him, too young. There's kind of like not the same size. It looks like the same size difference between him and Lemos. He's a lot more talented than Lemos, so I think he'll put up a good fight. But he's 36. He's gonna look slower in there. I think Keyshawn should be able to get him to a decision.
Yeah, I want to touch on that. By the way, that's a lot of people are talking about. The age and all of that. It's not so much the age, because nowadays with all these supplements that you can get, 36 might just be the new 31. However, if you peruse Berinchyks' record, this is what should be concerning. The fact that he's been quite inactive. And first of all, the only names I recognize are Ivan Mendy, Anthony Yigit, other than Navarrete, obviously. So you see one fight in 2022, one fight 2023, one fight 2024, which was all the way back in May. I mean, that's not good. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Davis, you look at his record, Top Rank's been keeping him active. One fight in February 2024, one fight July 2024, and then one a couple of months ago, November, when he took on Gustavo Lemos. That's the most concerning aspect. Who else wants to say something about this card? Chief, you want to add your 2 cents?
No, I didn't even realize that was this weekend until you said something, and I won't be able to tune in because I've got family engagements. So
excuses.
I'll tell you offline. Anyway, so it is what it is. I'm willing to listen to anything, and I'll give 2 cents on anything that I've actually got solid knowledge of.
Well, we're going to get into a little bit of drama, so stay here because we're going to be needing your input. I mean, I'll say this, man. I'm seeing different scenarios playing out for tomorrow. I can see Keyshawn Davis being too quick and too strong. Yes, that matters. It's not just skills pay the bills. So I can see that. I can see him overwhelming Berinchyk. However, I still think people are underrating Berinchyks' performance against Navarrete. You're going to see, if anybody else beats Navarrete next, it's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be schooling unless they knock him out cold with one shot. This dude will not make it easy for you, Navarrete. And Berinchyk did about as good as he could, considering that he's not a puncher, he's not the fastest guy out there, nor the biggest lightweight out there either. And he was able, and I know Navarrete was coming up from 130, but it's still, I mean, again, people underrate Navarrete. Now, I could be making a mistake, and I could be overrating Navarrete, and therefore, by extension, overrating Berinchyk. I can concede that. I just don't know how good Berinchyk really is. I know he's got a good sense of controlling the distance. Like Keyshawn Davis, he's a silver medalist, Olympic silver medalist. He can punch well with both hands, meaning he throws both punches well, although sometimes he'll chop with his shots, which I don't like. But he's got good timing, good reflexes, good defense. He does seem to have a little bit of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Not dog, but tenacity to him. I don't know if people saw, but there was a clip circulating on social media of Berinchyk engaging in bare knuckle boxing. And there wasn't a ring. The ring constituted stacks of hay. You know, like a good
like
old,
sandbags.
I thought they were stacks of hay. Maybe I saw something else, but I mean, he was going at it, man. And the way Keyshawn Davis was trying to, AKA, dog him, getting in his face and all that, the guy was unfazed. So the fact that he's bare knuckle boxing, the fact that he has had street fights, I think he's unmoved by all this barking that these generally American fighters tend to engage in prior to a fight.
That Russian that he fought, Arm Lobov in bare knuckle, that's probably not the first one he's had to take out over the last couple of years in hand-to-hand combat, you know?
Oh, he fought was that he fought that guy? Was that Conor McGregor's friend?
Yeah.
Huh.
The GOAT, Arm Lobov, the Russian Hammer.
I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah, you were interesting. All right. So Sobers is adding another dimension. So what do you think, Sobers? You think this guy probably is a tough guy?
Yeah, you know, he got a steely look. He's really unfazed by all that rah shit that Keyshawn Davis is bringing. So that's a good sign, right? When you see some guy, he just looks at you steely-eyed when he's like trying to get all hyped up in his face and you're racist and I'm gonna beat you up, you know. And but what I was referring to about Russians, you know what I mean? He's Ukrainian as well, so I'm sure he's seen some more. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure he got called back and had to deal with some shit himself, just like Usyk, the Klitschko's, and Lomachenko. I think there was a Ukrainian boxer who got killed in a shelling. So people act like nothing's happening to these guys. These are athletes, these Ukrainian athletes, but they're in the shit.
That's right, literally. Yeah. Well, I mean, not literally, but I'm talking from the Vietnam nomenclature that we used to have back in the day, me and the boys, when we were fighting Charlie in the jungle. You know, every time you stayed away from the jungle, Charlie got stronger. We were getting weaker. It's scary. It's scary. But Berinchyk seems to be taking it in stride. And yeah, I mean, obviously I would give the edge to Davis here by virtue of the fact he's younger, more active, probably the harder puncher. But Berinchyk looks like he has that style where he probably won't be going anywhere. I don't know. I think that the key to victory here for Davis is go to the body, because that was something Navarrete didn't really do. And Navarrete did manage to hurt him, by the way. He managed to stun Berinchyk in the 4th round. He just never managed to follow it up. So Davis, if he wants to wear the older man down, body. Don't headhunt early, because that's one way in which things can go wrong. You know, Dora said that in the Discord. He said, go to the body, and because he's getting Teofimo Lopez Cambosos vibes from Davis. He looks like he might be too hot-headed in there and blow his wad early on. Shoot his wad. I forget which one's the correct expression. They both sound dirty to me, man. But yeah, he might end up adrenaline dumping too early and then being unable to step back when it really matters. But I don't know, man. For some reason, yeah, Berinchyk looks like a tough guy to me, but I don't know if he's physically able to take what's coming to him. Again, he was able to handle Navarrete, which a lot of people are underrating, but I don't know.
Well, I see the way he boxes. You can tell he comes from the Lomachenko school. He's gonna hit those angles, so I think he'll be able to handle himself against this guy. You know, but like I was saying, like when I saw him fight Navarrete, he just didn't he looked like an older guy. You know, he just looked like an older guy. You know, like the reflexes are going. So he looked his age to me. That's why I think he's just gonna be a touch too slow. But he's gonna give him some problems. He's gonna put hands on him. I don't think Davis is gonna be able to knock this guy out.
Interesting.
Davis doesn't strike me much of a knockout artist either. The American fighters these days, it doesn't look like they know how to put their punches together to earn a knockout. They either get you with a shot you don't see with that highlight reel, long right hand, because most of them don't have a very good hook these days.
Oh,
with the exception of Ryan Garcia. But most of them try to line you up to get the good right hand, and if they don't knock you out, then you go the distance. If it's not an early knockout, you go 12 rounds. I'm being slightly hyperbolic, exaggerating a little bit, but I just don't really see any solid knockout potential from our current crop of lighter weight American fighters, with the exception of Tank Davis, but he's not young. He's not young. He's 30. He's 30 years old, or right at 30. So age-wise, he's seasoned. When it comes time to Haney and the guys that are still in their 20s, I don't see a lot of potential knockouts.
Well, I mean, you make a good point about the hooking thing. You're right. A lot of these guys, they just don't seem to be able to string. I mean, I did. That's what I said in the video I did over there at BDA Clips, which is that he tends to be one punch at a time. Again, his toughest opponent so far was Albright, Nathan Albright or Nathaniel. I forget what his actual name is, or his first name. But Albright gave him a very tough fight, managed to hurt him as well. He fought a guy for the first time, I think it was the first time in the pro ranks, who could match his speed and reflexes, and he didn't look all that hot in there. Didn't look all that hot. So Berinchyk isn't as... Yeah.
No, my bad, BD. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, just real quick. Okay, so Berinchyk isn't as fast as Albright, but he's a little bit more seasoned, especially when it pertains to overall boxing. Because I know we like to say that what happens in the amateurs stays in the amateurs, but it does show that Berinchyk being able to get to the finals in the Olympics does denote that he's a little bit more seasoned. The way he fights, the way he's able to get closer to his opponent, whereas Albright couldn't. I think he does perform in certain areas better than Albright did.
Well, and I don't know enough about Berinchyk to say that this is a something that'll play a big part in the fight, but I do know that a lot of top-level amateurs, especially at the Olympic level, have timing. And what have I said multiple times on this show about timing? You know, speed, power thrills, speed kills, but timing beats them all. Mm-hmm. So if he has any kind of timing, it doesn't mean he's going to win the fight with this, but his timing can throw Davis off to where we're going to see if Davis can come up with a plan B. He may be faster, but if if your timing throws the speed off, you got to come up with a different way to try and get to the finish line. It's not going to be a straight shot anymore. So these are the issues that we think Berinchyk going to be able to cause, even if he can't win the fight. He'll still have his moments.
Well, we will see, man. Again, he's both guys. You know, so I think Thunderdome. Who was it? Was it Thunderdome? I was on Thunderdomes yesterday. Shout out to Thunderdome. We were discussing this whole issue, and he was saying that Keyshawn Davis he shouldn't have gotten to the Olympic final. Again, I've only seen the final when he got beat by Andy Cruz, but I didn't know that apparently at some point there was one fight that he shouldn't have been awarded the win in, kind of like Anthony Joshua back in 2012. By the way, I'm looking at this picture here of Keyshawn Davis. He's reminding me a little bit of Bob from Twin Peaks. Remember the demonic entity from Twin Peaks? And that's what it reminds me of. What the hell is he doing? And we're gonna get to Keyshawn.
He's definitely a little, you know.
Yeah. By the way, that what you just posted here, we're gonna get into it in a couple of minutes. But I just want to.
But I was gonna say though, BDA, what this fight is reminding me of, what the vibes that Keyshawn Davis is giving. He even said it. You know, he's like, it's giving. I don't say it, that sounds gay as fuck. My bad. The way he's acting, it's akin to how we've seen Devin Haney. He's telling these guys, "You're too small." You know, he said the same thing to Dennis Berinchyk. And when they stood next to each other, you know, Keyshawn Davis did look a lot bigger than him. He looked a lot bigger than what's the name too, Gustavo Limos. And like how you brought up how when he fought Albright, he was actually having a hard time. He couldn't push him around. He actually got hurt in that fight near the end. It looks like that's where he's really gonna have trouble when he fights someone his own size. And this guy Dennis Berinchyk, his X factor, like you guys were bringing up, you know, he really has he has like a good pedigree. You know, fighting Navarrete, he tried to say, I'm not 130, but Navarrete has a world of experience more in the pros than Keyshawn Davis does. So that was a fight against like a real champion who's been like that was one for his fourth belt. So it wasn't, you know, even the fight looked ugly. That wasn't nobody. That wasn't just a nobody he was fighting.
That's a great, excellent thing.
Can be an X factor.
I mean, you know what? You just reminded me with what you said that, as always, because again, Keyshawn Davis is part of the Terence Crawford, Bomac, Steven Nelson, Shakur Stevenson type circle. They're very vociferous, as we've said before. A lot of jawing from the sidelines. And wouldn't you know it, yesterday, during the press conference, some people kept hooting and hollering from the stands. They had Bomac and some other people there. And there was one person in particular who was yelling, he average, he a bum, he fight ugly, he fight ugly. And I'm thinking, well, first of all, I'm pretty sure that room smells ugly with a lot of those guys in there. I think a lot of those guys are very active, nightlife and all that. They don't take the time to shower. That's my experience with some of these fellas. Second of all, they keep saying that the guy's ugly, he doesn't fight well, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then show it then. Because we were all very excited when Keyshawn Davis stopped Lemos, and whereas Richardson Hitchens couldn't do a damn thing with Lemos. In fact, I thought Lemos won that fight. Meanwhile, Keyshawn Davis goes in there, wipes the floor with Lemos, who didn't even try to make weight, by the way, either. So that was very exciting. So now, again, same thing here. The guy's a bum. He's too small. He's smaller. He's older, slower. Make it look that way.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I've said many times here before is when it comes time to people that say stuff about like Oscar and Tyson on, they were always bigger than these guys. Okay. Or these guys were past their primes, everything. Okay, we'll show it. What do young lions do? They either make the older lion run away or they devour him. This is boxing. We want to see you devour. So if this guy's older and smaller and doesn't belong in the ring with you, don't go the distance with the guy. Not unless you can't finish him, meaning you've put the hurt on him and he just won't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. Like a Greg Haugen. Greg Haugen's just tough. Most guys aren't finishing him off. So you're going to go 12 to 15 with him most of the time. Okay, but you beat him up. So this is, Keyshawn wants to say he belongs in there with Kashur Haney tank, conglomerate stuff, then prove it. Show us. And show us better than they've done.
And I do think Keyshawn Davis has the firepower to do it. Hopefully I'm not overrating his power, but it does seem to me like if he catches a guy well, especially if he goes to the body. He was going to the body against Albright, but he wasn't doing it consistently. Rewatching that fight, I felt rewatching it rather, that if he would have launched a more sustained, prolonged body attack, he probably could have stopped. Albright, but he never did. It's almost like, I don't know.
Don't be razzle dazzled by the Lemos fight, BDA. That fight was very fishy to me, man. And seeing the behavior from Top Rank about this whole thing with you know what I'm saying, that I've been seeing lately, I'm even more likely to be. I'm very suspicious. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get into it then. Enough about this fight. What are you, boxing talk? Let's get into the drama.
You want to talk boxing? We didn't get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I mean, come on. I think we said all we needed to say about this fight.
Part of boxing is drama.
Well, there you go. That's one way of looking at it. Before we continue on with the spicy. Well, listen, this is going to get spicy, by the way. If you've been living under a rock, we're going to try to resume, offer a synopsis, the dossier, in other words, the dossier on what occurred. Before we do that, fellas, don't forget to hit that like. It really helps us out. We're at 38 likes right now. I'm not going to ask for much. I'm going to ask for 50. 50 likes. So 11 people hit that like, and we'll continue to give you all the rundown of what happened in the last 36 hours. And we might even let you in on a little secret about who was behind the mystery box that was left at Keyshawn Davis' doorstep. But that's only if 10 more people hit that like.
You only tell them that if we get to 69, BDA.
What you got? I mean, come on. Sober. And then there's kids near sobers on top of that. He's making those type of lewd, disgusting jokes. Absolutely horrendous.
Go! What you're talking about.
I mean, you're the one that said it, man. Go! All right, listen. Let's get into it. Let's get serious for a moment here, because it was serious what happened. So, the day before yesterday, I forget exactly which hour, was probably 500 hours. That's the way we used to do it in Vietnam, by the way. That's how we told the time. Somebody went over to Keyshawn Davis's room. Now, Keyshawn Davis says he wasn't there. A friend of his was there. And that this sort of concierge-looking guy wanted to deliver a package and actually step into the room to deliver it. They didn't want to let him in. Ultimately, they acquiesced, which, by the way, you should never do, because you never know if that guy's a vampire or a demon or whatever. But anyway, they let him in. He drops the box, leaves. Subsequently, they found out the contents of the box are bananas and a watermelon, including a note that, oh man, you know what? I had everything ready except the actual picture of the box. What's wrong with me? I got the picture of Keyshawn Davis looking like a psycho. Okay, Sobers, can you do me a solid and send me the picture, please? of the boxing question?
I got this.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. So yeah, it's a box containing watermelon bananas, including a message, handwritten message, with a bunch of typos scratched out. And essentially it said something along the lines of, this is for you to keep you energized for those high jumps. By the way, like I said, there's a lot of grammatical errors in that note. Stay strong, business woman, something like that. I think they meant business woman. So Keyshawn Davis immediately posted that on his Instagram. Well, I shouldn't say immediately. I don't know how much time transpired in between, but he ended up posting on Instagram and saying, man, I didn't know Berinchyk, I don't know if Berinchyks team was racist or whatever, but they just made this more personal. So in other words, intimating that it was already personal for him for some reason, but now it was even more so. So now we get to the press conference, yesterday's press conference between Keyshawn Davis and Denis Berinchyk. Now, you will note as well that Davis has dispensed with the shedlocks. You know, those dreadlocks, I don't know what they call them, but they look like doctorates. He got rid of them, and he's now presenting a more corporate business persona, like a courtroom appearance type persona. And, you know, some people are lauding him for it, saying, hey, good for him. But his behavior was anything but corporate, as we're going to see. Let's take a look at some of the clips here about what happened yesterday.
Thanks for being with us, and always, Carl, sticking with me all afternoon.
Let me fast forward.
I want to bring
here
in the businessman, Keyshawn Davis, 12-0, one decision, no decision, 8 knockouts. Listen, the last time we saw you, your hometown, they turned out. How special was that experience for you to put on a show like that in your backyard, surrounded by family? And here we are.
First, I'd like to thank God, give all God the glory.
Let me fast forward.
That's another day.
Actually, BDA, with this with that photo of that post on X, I'll actually give credit to Food TV, because I was listening to him talk about this. If you look at what he says on his post, the tweet, he goes, "I never thought he was like this, but this just got a little more personal." He almost says that verbatim at the press conference. You know, it seems very rehearsed, and you know, like he didn't really believe it. They were asking him about, you know, what happened. He kind of gave a little smirk. Like, I don't know. He didn't seem that upset about it. He seemed, you know, he got more upset when Berinchyk gave him a little push.
Interesting. Could be nothing, could be everything. You never know. That's the thing that could break the case in scenarios such as this. By the way, a lot of people were saying, you know, they were half kidding and saying, man, you know, if I would have gotten a box of bananas and watermelon, I would have eaten that shit up. You know, put some tahini on it, blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Are you really going to touch fruit? Now, you guys tell me, am I overreacting, or isn't it possible? Maybe this is just an urban legend, but can't you grab a syringe, like a syringe full of cum or poison or whatever, and just inject it into the watermelon, and essentially you're eating cum melon? Or is that an urban Halloween legend, like for Halloween kids?
Well, I don't know what can go through a syringe, so I can't comment on that part. But I know a syringe can pierce the skin of a watermelon, and people have been known to take alcohol and put it into a watermelon, let it sit, so then when they eat it, they can get drunk. So
that sounds good.
I don't know that semen can actually penetrate through a hypodermic needle, but yes, you can inject fruit with things to kind of augment things, i.e. flavors and possible extracurricular beverages.
Okay, well, thank you for clarifying that. Sobers, you ever had that tequila melon down there in Georgia?
No, but that sounds good, like a good idea.
You're not in Georgia.
Yeah, bro. I've been told you that.
If you told me that, I forgot. Sorry for forgetting. We'll talk offline about that sometime.
Why would you? All right,
sure, bro. Why would you need to? Because you're from Georgia.
All right.
I forgot. Sorry, I didn't realize that.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Thanks for the clarification, by the way. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, either way, you guys are in agreement. You wouldn't touch that fruit because you don't know what's in it. Let's keep playing this clip here.
Well, these boxers aren't that smart, BDA. He probably did take a bite out of that banana, one of those bananas, bro. So. You know, before he really sunk in. Like, wait a minute, you know, what are they trying to say? Because you know, Benavidez, there's that famous story of him eating that pizza that was just outside his door one day, and that's why he got sick or something. I forgot what fight that was for.
That's right, and we never played that clip, by the way, which you provided us, or somebody else provided, rather. But I forgot to play that. Yeah, there's a clip out there, and I have it here somewhere. Benavidez, I think it was for the Killer Plant fight. He said that there was somebody that left cheesecake and pizza near his room
He just
or
ate
something.
it like a fat ass.
And he just decided to take a couple of bites out of it. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. Who the fuck orders cheesecake and pizza? That's a lot of cheese. I mean, you're going to spend the whole night in the toilet. I mean, I don't know. It's the weird combination.
And he tried to blame his wife, BDA. He's like, "Oh, babe, I ate that food you ordered." Like, come on, bro.
Well, it
Yeah.
could have it can back you up also. That much dairy can either make you loose or it can bind everything up. So
Exactly.
either way, it's not a good thing.
Not a good combination. Not at all. And he should know better. He's a professional fighter, for Pete's sakes. But, all right. So, yeah. So, similar scenario here.
And the new, but I want to address the fact that this guy came to America to give me
This guy looks like a fucking psycho, by the way.
bananas and watermelon with a note on it. It's unprofessional, and I feel like it's racist, and you just made this fight a little more personal.
First of all, when people say I feel like it's racist, well, is it racist or isn't it racist? You can fluctuate between both. It's either racist or it isn't. Make up your mind.
Exactly. I can't hear anything, by the way.
Oh shit! Does that go for all of you guys? For you two, sobers? Oh, sobers isn't even here. Hold on. I think I had. It's my mea culpa. Mea culpa. Hold on a second. I said, hold on a second. Yeah, excuse me. My bad. Jeez, Luis. I'm glad you said something, man. All right. You should be able to hear it now.
Take that a step further, Keyshawn, just so everybody.
Okay, so sorry. Let me. Chief, essentially, he said, I never thought that this guy was racist, but he sent me the box, blah, blah, blah. He's made it more personal. But he said that. He said, I feel like it's racist. Well, I mean, either you're taking umbrage with it because it is racist or it isn't. It's up to you.
Well, first thing, was there a return address on there to prove the fact that this guy actually sent it to him?
Well, that's the onion in the ointment, or the fly in the ointment. That no, there wasn't.
Has this guy ever been known to do anything along these lines before when fighting any other black fighter?
Not
Because
that I
he's fought
know
more
of.
than one black fighter, right? This isn't the first time he's fighting a person of color, right? This is at least the second one, right?
Well,
So he's never done this before.
Ivan Mendy was a Afro-Franco. You know, like black French guy, in other words. But no, as far as I know, he didn't say anything. And when he fought Navarrete, who's a Mexican, I don't remember him sending him a box of tacos or anything. So no, I've never heard of him doing it.
So this is just from nowhere. Someone came up with this idea of like, hey, we're going to do this to this guy when we've never done anything like this before anytime in our careers. Got it. Okay.
Shout out to Jin Ryu Junior 33, by the way, for his contribution. Shout out to Jin Ryu Junior 33, who just donated via the Buy Me a Coffee app. And he said, salute Mr. BDA and Bucho. I got Keyshawn Davis by decision tomorrow. I think Dennis Berinchyk will be tough to get knocked out. He's got that dog in him, he says. That's right, that very elusive and infamous dog that everyone wants to have. Here are some shekels for your Valentine's dinner tomorrow. Well, shout out to you, Jin Ryu Junior 33. Really appreciate it, man. And shout out to everybody out there as well. Don't forget to hit that like. And so Jin Ryu is picking Keyshawn Davis by decision, but he feels Berinchyk is going to be too tough and too skilled to get knocked out. All right, let's continue hearing this.
At home understands what you're talking about.
Y'all heard what I said. This man brought a box of bananas and a watermelon. He brought a box of bananas and a watermelon to America to get to my room, to bring to my room, and I took it as racist. So I got something for you.
Again, I took it as racist. So it's up to you then. You're the guy who's deciding, how to feel about it. Why not just overlook it in the first place and go, all right, this guy's trying to get in my head. It ain't going to work. And we're going to throw down tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I eat a banana with my shake every morning for breakfast, and I'm from Georgia. And watermelon's a staple of the 4th of July. And in case you can't tell by my voice, I'm not African American. So, that gets blown out of proportion. There's a difference between stereotypes and racism, and people are too ignorant to know the difference between the two. And mailing something as a stereotype does not, it's just the ignorance of America due to lack of public education is extremely funny. He took it as racist because he's the one that decides if it's racist or not when it's a stereotype. Got it.
Well, okay. The other thing is...
There's a difference between the two.
But the other thing about that, Chief, is he's already deciding that it came from Dennis Berinchyk without any proof or evidence whatsoever.
The other point that I just made before, yes, sir. So Yeah. And another guy from Virginia with a lot of character issues.
Come on. You think he's going to be delivering some hip shots tomorrow? Some questionable hip shots?
Well, everybody. I mean, look, Errol Spence was supposedly the best American body puncher in a while, and I don't know how many he had above the belt. So, must be just an American trait these days.
He's saying there was a delivery.
I don't know. I don't know enough about Keyshawn, and I'm not downing Keyshawn. A lot of people around here love him, largely because he went to the Olympics and represented, and now his potential to, be in the title scene and everything else, and it's good for boxing in this area. So I'm going to leave that part alone. Just the avenue they're going around to try and advertise this fight lacks character.
All right.
His room, a box of bananas and
Look at his coach face. Look at his coach face.
Хочу сказати, що я не розмовляю і тим паче не пишу. Я бачив його пости в Instagram. Нічого не...
By the way, I just realized that Keyshawn Davis is wearing my grandma's pearl necklace. Look at that. What's that all about? Oh, no, that's not that. It looks like a pearl necklace. My bad.
Нічого немає особистого для нього.
First thing I want to say that I don't speak English and I don't write English because I saw his message on the media. It's weird just even to mention this. Some people with bad intentions looking for some hype made.
By the way, this guy sounds Arabic for some reason. My friend, I give it to. Jeez Louise. Shout out to, real quick, a new person, a new donor here. Shout out to Mr. Chirac. Mr. Chirac might be Berinchy's manager, by the way, promoter. Says, is Keyshawn the next LDBC darling? He race baits like them. Also, he seems to have a generally low IQ, so it fits sub-Saharan IQ. Well, first of all, let me tell you that I disagree with the vitriol in that post. But since you paid for it, I got to read it legally. I'm bound to read it. I don't think he's the next LWC guy. I think they still got Tank Davis. That's a guy that they tend to gravitate more towards. I think the people who tend to root for Terrence Crawford and Shakur Stevenson will probably root for Keyshawn Davis just by virtue of the fact that he's associated with them, with that circle of performers. But shout out to Mr. Chirac for his comment, and hopefully it doesn't divide people too much in the chat room. But shout out to him. Like I said, don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. Really helps us out.
This now it's.
He ain't say all that.
Listen, my man.
Look, Mark. Y'all did it. It's okay that y'all did it. I'm gonna whoop your ass for it. So just come Friday night, just know what's gonna happen to the both of you.
Well, so first of all, he said he didn't say all that. How would you know? Do you speak Ukrainian? I mean, I don't know. He's very quick to jump on the gun here.
So now he suddenly speaks a second language when he barely speaks fluent, proper English. I'm not trying to say anything other than that. And then he suddenly speaks a second language and he can translate everything. And now he just said something's going to happen. So now he's threatening his manager because the only one getting in the ring is Berinchyk. He said something's going to happen to both of y'all. So,
yeah.
This is, again, real good character there, Keyshawn. If he's as talented as he thinks he is and people are trying to hype him to be, he doesn't need to go to these levels.
I agree. I mean, maybe it's a ploy to sell. I don't know. I can't blame him because, again, people do need to... there's so many boxers out there that some of these fighters feel like they need to go to this extent to try to differentiate themselves or stand out from the pack. But Thunderdome was making the great point. Nowadays, accusing somebody of being a racist in certain communities can be seen as a death blow or a career death blow. We're going to get to that, by the way. And so, it can be a serious thing. It can be a serious thing.
But if I may on this point real quick, he's taking it to this level. Ray Leonard had a gold medal and had a little more hype behind him. Well, a lot more hype behind him than Keyshawn. Got it. Okay. But De La Hoya, even Whitaker, they didn't have to stoop to these levels to try and sell tickets. So if you have to go to this route to get this done, what are you lacking in your arsenal? What are you lacking in your entertainment value? What are you lacking in your charisma that you can work on instead of possibly and allegedly, because I'm not saying he did this, mailing yourself a box, blaming it on someone else, and then threatening somebody's manager? Because that's literally the last part, what you just did. So
that's a good point right there, man. Bucho says he's trying to get into the He's trying to get the LDBC. Again, I don't know, man. Maybe it's possible. Phil Miles says, I don't blame Keyshawn for getting mad. Why can't he get mad about that? Put yourselves in his shoes. Well, that's precisely the point. He's getting mad over something he's got no facts over. He's immediately assuming that it's racist. He's immediately assuming that Berinchyk and his team sent it. And he's immediately jumping to violence saying, hey, you know, well, not him necessarily, but other people. But so, yeah, man, I mean, that's the type of behavior that gets people shot in the streets. When they look at each other, so one guy's walking next to, passing by another guy, and they look at each other. Why are you looking at, motherfucker? Why are you looking at? And then they start shooting each other. That's that type of behavior. You're assuming things. You shouldn't get mad over things you got no. You know, there's a book out there about Toltec or Olmec wisdom. And it's called the Four Understandings. I think that's the rough translation in English. And one of the 4 golden rules is never assume. Don't assume that people are trying to clown you or that what this guy said was trying to insult you. Just let it go. Whoop his ass in the ring.
Okay, so when my son played soccer and there were a lot of bullies on the team, on the other team that tried to knock our guys down, the coach always said, just get up and smile at him. Blow him a kiss. Do something to get back under their skin.
A kiss.
Instead of standing here and, because what happens in this area, you do that.
Coach that you have.
That's starting something. So what I'm trying to say is, instead of playing back against to get into Berinchy's head, if Berinchyk actually did this, which again, there's no evidence that he did, then instead of like lowering to the level of like, oh, well, sticking your chest out and, you know, making a spectacle of yourself, get back at him. Get in his head. Oh, thank you for the gift. By the way, these are my favorites. But then expose them, like, instead of making it racist in a hateful way, make the joke about it to where you're joking on his lack of character instead of making this like a war, a war of race, which is what he's actually making it into, regardless of Berinchy's intentions. If in fact Berinchyk sent this, which is the biggest part of our conversation, you don't know who sent it, and you're automatically making accusations. You could have had a fan that doesn't, or not a fan, a person that doesn't like you, and send it to you, and you're blaming Berinchyk.
That's a big deal. Oh, and
it could
then
be a Berinchyk fan. Could be a Berinchyk fan. Who knows? Point is, you're making accusations with no proof, and nothing good's coming from it other than it shows a lack of character on your part.
Exactly, and you're gonna see, based on what I'm gonna show you later, Chief, people are still making that mistake vis-a-vis another fighter, but we're going to get to that. So let me fast forward here, because there was also something very interesting, is that Berinchy's side was trying to explain themselves about the situation, that they didn't do it, and Keyshawn Davis was very adroit or very adamant about shutting them down. He didn't want. It seems like that again. Now this is my perception. I could be wrong, but he kept talking over Berinchyk and his team, almost as if he didn't want them to let out their explanation, like he didn't want them to explain themselves. And you know, I was on Thunderdomes yesterday, and we were wondering about whether the reason why they didn't want the team to explain themselves was because maybe Keyshawn Davis or somebody from his team masterminded the whole thing, and they don't want too many questions to be asked about it, because the more questions get asked, the more they get put into a corner where they can't get out of, and it starts becoming obvious that maybe they did it. Again, I'm not saying that's what happened, but again, it's a possibility.
Real quick,
sure.
How Corrales and Mayweather came about. They were pushing it off like 3 months to 6 months. HBO said they couldn't get a date. James Prince even admitted this and said, hey, go up at the press conference, for another fight when you see him and everybody's looking, and push the guy real hard and try and start something. Next thing I know, they got a TV date. Now, this fight's already signed, ready to go. I get all that. But that doesn't mean that their people didn't learn from what James Prince did and still didn't try to do something to get more attention than this fight's already going to garner. Because why am I willing to bet my next paycheck that Davis still doesn't sell to the level they want him to get at yet?
I mean, listen.
So you got to start something to get people following. And if controversy is the only way to go, then so be it. But anyway, you were going to move on to another point.
Well, first of all, shout out to Mr. Chirac again for his contribution with the Super Chat. He says, someone like Keyshawn will never disavow Haney being a racist against Loma. His kind are known for their hypocrisy. And by his kind, I mean, come on, then he uses a word. He uses a word, and then he goes, he uses a certain word, he goes, not trying to get you banned, BDA. Yeah, I'm sure you're not trying to get me banned. Shout out to you, Mr. Chirac. But you know what? It's actually interesting, though, Mr. Chirac, because a lot of Afro-Anglos did turn on Keyshawn Davis. Because apparently Keyshawn Davis sort of, again, I don't know if this is true or not, that's what they were saying, and they tend to get their misinformation misaligned, so I don't know. But they claim that Keyshawn Davis sort of gave Ryan Garcia a pass when Ryan Garcia went on his racial tirade. And so a lot of people are saying now that Keyshawn Davis can't complain, which is weird to me. Like, okay, so if you disagreed with a guy getting accused of murder, maybe he didn't really do it, and you're like, hey, I don't think he did. I don't think he should be executed. And then somebody tries to murder you. You can't complain about it anymore. I know it's not the perfect analogy, but why does him saying, hey, this case was okay, and then something happening to him invalidate his ability to say, hey, that's racist? I mean, if it's racist, it's racist. It doesn't matter if he thought something else wasn't racist or was racist. That the act could still be racist. I mean, everyone's all smacked up here. Yeah.
What I was saying, what I saw on was it Twitter, X, whatever. Under the comments, they were bringing that up, right? And the whole thing is that not that so much that he didn't. They said like you didn't say nothing to him. You kind of just they're saying you're endorsing it and you're cool with him doing it because you're on the Twitter, you're on the Instagram live with him, and y'all was yucking it up. And with y'all and y'all joking around, but now when this happens to you, you're like, oh, I didn't think you were like this, but like, he's trying to stand up against racism now, and then a lot of people really weren't buying it, which is really funny. It looks like really nobody. I feel like it's like a 60-40 thing on people who bought that being real.
Yeah, we're in the age where everything gets overanalyzed and everything gets dug up, and so yeah, this type of. I mean, look at the Jussie Smollett thing. I mean, people are comparing Keyshawn Davis now because again, some people are accusing him of being the one who masterminded the whole thing. In fact, shout out to Sobers. I don't know if he made this little, I don't know what you would call it here, this little animation. Look at that. Is it possible that Keyshawn Davis orchestrated the whole thing to try to get sympathy votes? Again, he's with Top Rank. Top Rank really do seem to be itching for a new Afro-Anglo star. No, there hasn't been an Afro-Anglo star since Floyd Mayweather. Tank Davis has not been able to fill those shoes, as we're going to see later on, because there was recently a list of the top earning sports figures across the world. Tank Davis nowhere to be found near it. So they're really trying to get themselves a new Afro-Anglo star. So here you. All right, shout out to that's a loud alert, but I like it. It's a Pavlovian thing now. It gets my juices flowing. My sexual juices. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Mr. Chirac. For his makes no sense. Shout out to Mr. Chirac for his contribution. Again, shout out to Mr. Chirac, really keeping us afloat here. He says a lot of LDBC people are saying that since Berinchyk didn't deny it, therefore he did it, which is dumb. But I think Teofimo probably did it since it seems like something he would do. Well, that's the thing, though, Mr. Chirac. We're going to get to that because now some people are saying that supposedly Teofimo Lopez is behind it. Again, no shred of evidence, no shred of proof, but people are already condemning him. And again, some people could say, well, BDA, aren't you saying that Keyshawn is behind it? What I'm saying is, I don't know. Anything's possible. We haven't seen enough evidence. And Thunderdome was doing a great job yesterday of pointing out, getting down to the nitty-gritty and saying, well, listen, this could all be easily proven, disproven, whatever. If somebody actually did their job, one of these so-called YouTube boxing journalists or whatever, actually did their job, contacted the hotel and said, hey, show us the video of who was there at that time, who went into the lobby, who went to the staircase, whatever, who delivered that package. Very easily done to find out who did that. Nobody wants to do it. Why not? That's the thing that makes me go, what's going on here? It's such a big deal, right? It was such a big deal that Top Rank even released a statement yesterday, a press release saying we condone the abhorrent behavior yesterday of whoever did that, and we fully support Keyshawn Davis. Yeah, no mention of any investigation or anything. Very, very weird.
Oh, for me, BDA, I think that Top Rank, they're okay with this kind of stuff, even whether it's orchestrated or not. They're going to lean into it. They really like this edge. They like hitting it from this edge. Mm-hmm. Right, and the reason why I say that is because you already know, but I'm going to bring it up. A couple years ago, when Shakur Stevenson fought, I'm sorry, no, when Shakur Stevenson fought Joel Gonzalez, the whole promotion around that fight was revolving around him banging his sister and how the dad's a racist. So he hated him. He hated Shakur Stevenson for that reason, and that's what they're implying the whole time. But you see, when they interviewed the daddy, the Joet's dad, the guy doesn't even look like he spoke English, so they probably didn't present it to him in that way. They probably were just we're going to give you some questions, whatever. But then they turned around and promoted it that way. And they try to make him look like, oh, they're the racist Mexicans. don't want the black dude in their family. You know, it was very strange, and they really like that racial edge. So I wouldn't put it past them to whether they see like whether they think this is believable or not. Like they're really gonna lean in on it, and they did. They put out that silly little press release.
Exactly, but they don't seem to really want to find out who was behind it, which is bizarre to me.
No. Yeah.
By the way, one hitter quitter. That's a fucking weird ass photo, man. What the fuck? He says all they did was give him like. Well, I mean, look at this shit. Come on, man. What is it? He says all they did was give them a gift of fruits. Y'all acting like it's a high level crime. Well, that's precisely my point. Went to hitter quitter. I think maybe you're misunderstanding. The act itself is to be overlooked. Now, look, listen. People can be offended by what they want, but in my opinion, that whole thing it's being blown out of proportion. However, there's a lot of people that don't have critical thinking skills. They immediately assumed, and I read these comments on Twitter, a lot of people immediately assumed that Denis Berinchyk was behind it. I read the comments. People were saying, oh, Keyshawn, you got to beat his ass now. You got to beat his ass now. He going to get... It's like, why are you assuming that Berinchyk sent it? So that's what I'm saying. This type of allegation in certain communities can be very serious. To accuse somebody of racism. I mean, we've got so-called boxing journalists out there now calling for people to be reprimanded for so-called racism. So, yeah, it is a serious thing. When somebody gets accused of this, especially when it's not true, that's the thing.
I even seen people on Twitter or whatever, X, saying that, oh, in other sports this isn't allowed. When are we going to start doing something about racism in boxing? Like, why there should be bigger punishments? And like you were just pointing out, for what? They just gave him some fruits and a poorly written hand letter. I don't get why they wrote it. It looks like someone wrote it with their non-dominant hand. Like, you know, like they wrote it with their left hand. And I guess that's supposed to make it look like it comes from someone who doesn't understand English. I don't know if they made it thought that'd be more believable, or that's really like Teofimo's handwriting or Keyshawn Davis's handwriting. This is how they write. You know what I mean?
Oh, come on. Well, that's the thing, though. Even before you saw the clip I played of the press conference where Keyshawn Davis was getting in Berinchy's face. This all started even before the so-called mystery basket, which again we don't know who sent it, and it continued today during the weigh-in. Keyshawn Davis and his entourage, like I said, doing a lot of hooting, a lot of hollering, especially Bomac, all throughout the weigh-in as well. So check out what happened at the weigh-in for anyone who missed it. Let me play with sound. Why not? So again, Davis keeps doing what he's been doing throughout the last 3 days.
This was really gay.
Yeah, trying to touch. He's not even just touching Berinchyk, but like caressing it. That's very what the youth today call zesty, very zesty behavior.
Rounds for the WBO lightweight championship of the world.
That looks gross. Look, what the hell?
You can tell Berinchyk
Where
is
his hands at, BDA?
They're in his pocket. He's playing pocket pool with his hands in his pants. What's he doing, man? You're right.
Why do they act like they can't hold this dude back?
Yeah, you're right. Eh? Why is it so hard to hold him back? Come on.
Well, actually, you know what, BDA? You ever seen that? What's that movie called? Split.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know that trilogy that M. Night Shyamalan, I think, is the third one where they have that dude they have him in the loony bin and they try to hold him back and he's too strong. You need like 5 people to hold these guys, these mental patients.
You think he's got schizo? He's got multiple personality strength, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you know, it brings up a good point because a guy who does weigh a lot is Bomac. Bomac did try to get in between, but you saw he sort of got lost in there in the video. You stopped seeing Bomac after a while. He was out of frame. He started trying to hold him back, and then he couldn't. But then Sober sent us a picture here. Sober sent us a picture of something that might have distracted Bomac. Look at that. That might have been it, I think. I don't know. Somebody smart from Berinchy's team threw something to distract him, prevent him from getting all 500 pounds on top of Berinchyk.
He was out of the picture after that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to go after Bomac, you got to bring a harpoon, a giant ass boat, a large crew, and a whole lot of meat. But so that's what happened. Now, some people in the comment section of that live stream when Berinchyk gave him a little tap. Oh, what a bitch, hitting him from the behind. Well, first of all, Davis is the guy. My goodness, Davis is a guy who's being very hands-on from the beginning. He's doing a lot of barking, a lot of yapping, a lot of threats, accusing Berinchyk of being racist. And then you turn your back to that guy. You can tell that Berinchyk too clearly has something off in his head. Looks like a psycho. I wouldn't, if I'm talking so much shit to that guy, I'm not gonna suddenly turn my back to him. Again, that's bad positioning, bad situational awareness, and it makes me wonder where Keyshawn Davis grew up in. Maybe he didn't have it so tough growing up, because a guy who did grow up tough would know never to turn your back on an opponent. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, he felt too safe after running his mouth like that.
Maybe he thought Bomac was gonna eat his opponent if anything went awry. I don't know.
They weren't counting on them to having a backup plan for Bomac.
That's right. That's right. They outsmarted Bomac.
They probably had a whole bag. They probably had a whole bag of cheeseburgers and Cheetos.
You remember in Jurassic Park when they used the flare to destroy the T-Rex? That's what you do to destroy Bomac. You hold a bag of nuggets, and he just follows, and then you throw it away.
You gotta shake him in the air so you can hear him and throw him.
Oh man, he can tell which type of sauce is in there, even if he hasn't seen it already. He looks through the bag. Shout out to Mr. Chirac, by the way.
He can smell it.
Yeah, he can smell the sauce, man. Shout out to Mr. Chirac for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Keyshawn wants to be buck broken by Ukrainians so bad. Maybe that's why he's talking crazy. He wishes he was at the Diddy parties with Devin Haney. Well, again, that's a lot of supposition right there, Mr. Chirac. That's a lot of supposition. I don't agree with everything you said. However, I do agree with something there. I do agree with one thing that we need to get into here specifically, the crazy part. But before we get to that, I think it bears saying that Teofimo Lopez came out. Remember, he made some questionable comments a couple of months ago. And yesterday, when all of this was hitting the proverbial fan, this is the video that Teofimo Lopez decided to release.
I'm going to address the fact that this guy came to America to give me bananas and watermelon with a note on it. It's unprofessional, and I feel like it's racist, and you just made this fight a little more personal. Take it a step further, Keyshawn.
Horrible acting, by the way, from Teofimo Lopez. I mean, if anybody, Sobers, could you give him some acting lessons? I know you got that diabolical laugh. That was there you go. That was a horrible fake laugh, by the way. I know it's, you know what, I've tried to fake laugh before and it always sounds fake. I can never fake it. I'm a genuine person. What do you want from me?
That one was fake.
Yeah, this one, I mean, come on.
That was better than what Teofimo offered, okay?
There you go. Oh, we got Recognize jumping in. Shout out to Recognize. And Gonzalo too.
That's not true though, BDA, because I hear you fake laughing at all my jokes all the time.
No. Hey, listen, it's all from the heart. Del corazón. Del corazón. How we say in Spanish. Del corazón. Can I ask something real quick? Just because we're going to get to Teofimo Lopez later about how many people want to kill him now. I'm not kidding. I know we're not supposed to use that word here on YouTube, but fuck it. We're demonetized anyway. But before we get to that, who eats bananas that way? Is that a normal way? I'm not saying deep throat the whole fucking banana, but do you guys do that where you break it in pieces and then eat it with your hands or?
The only way I do that.
I eat banana sideways.
The only way I do that is when. The only time I break my banana up is like if I'm having it with cereal. That's it. I'll break it into, like, let's say some cornflakes. Little pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Or some honey in there. Let me stop talking. I'm getting hungry. But go ahead. Yeah.
Nah, come on.
That's
But the reason why I bring that up is because I loathe having to touch fruit too much directly, unless I'm like, an apple, you're touching the skin. A banana, I'm touching it through the skin. I'm not touching the fruit directly. And I'm not saying my hands are fucking filthy, although they can be depending on who I'm with. But the point is, I don't know. It's weird the way he's eating the banana in little pieces. I don't know. Maybe that's the way they do it in Honduras. I don't know.
Being sinister, like he's giving the impression the way he's eating the banana, like he did this.
Scheming, yeah. That's how you know Recognize has kids, because he's probably seen kids do that in front of him. Like they know they did something behind Recognizes back, and they're sort of gloating. Like,
I taught him this.
Is that right? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's
when I see that one person is like a little weakling, they're sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tease them on that. That's why I'm getting the impression that maybe Teofimo did this.
Well, speaking, I mean, again, Teofimo Lopez, I dislike that guy. I think he's fake. I think he's a troll job. I think he's a little bit demented too. But just like Keyshawn Davis, we're gonna get to the fact, something I didn't know until earlier this week, when this whole Fruitgate scenario unfolded. Shout out to Sobers, by the way, for providing me this picture here. But so yeah, it turns out that Keyshawn Davis too has a couple of skeletons in his closet. But before we get to that, it turns out that Keyshawn Davis did sort of half apologize, I think. Well, let's hear it. I think he apologized to Berinchy's team. So let's see if it's an actual apology or if it's just a half apology. Let's see.
Hey, my bad, Berinchyk team. And I was going to say that today until he pushed me. But I'm calmed down now. I'm calm in front of the whole entire world. I understand now.
Is
why
my
y'all
bad
was
an
trying
apology?
That's what I'm saying. Is it an apology, guys?
Why is
what is he like saying oops?
What is he apologizing about?
He was accusing the Berinchyk team of being racist, that they sent him a mystery box full of various
goodies,
fruits in there that suggested racism. You know, they get him a poorly written note that said, you know, to stay energized. They said,
hold on. Recognize knows all of this. You know what he's doing? He's eating a banana right now and smiling while you're explaining the whole thing. He forced you to explain the whole thing.
He got to be eating it sideways.
Exactly.
Or it's gay.
No, but you know what happened, right? Recognize? I'm not. I think you said that yesterday on Thunderdomes. You're aware of the details.
My belief is, I could be wrong, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it had to do with Keyshawn, either him directly or his team. I know a scam when I see one, or I know a prank when I see one.
Are you saying you've pulled a couple of pranks in your lifetime? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I definitely have, but never would intend to like make somebody, ruin their reputation. Never like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I see here. And the kid is sick, right? Like he spent some time in a mental facility.
I'm gonna get to that. Yeah.
So wouldn't shock me. This is a kid that's probably bipolar. Just a sick
He's probably bisexual too.
Yeah, you think he's got like what do they call that? Like that thing where he gets turned on, imagining he's a woman. What is that called? Transsexual or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Maybe. You never know. I mean, again, I'm not saying that's what he is. What I'm saying, if a guy goes to the home, you just never know what he's in there for. But I want to keep hearing this so-called apology. See because I think he mentions Teofimo Lopez in it.
Because y'all don't want to look racist. I understand that. And people talk to me and it made sense. Like, them Ukrainians, they respect.
By the way, did you see that? It looked like he farted and he smelled like he was smelling to see if he farted. Let's check this out.
Made sense, like, them Ukrainians.
See that? He bent forward to smell something. What's he smelling?
Sense, like, them Ukrainians.
I think he sensed an.
Everyone loves their own brand, right, BDA?
Geez, Luis. No, maybe. You know what? That really disgusted me.
He gagged on that.
Yeah, a little bit, man. A little bit. All right. Oh man.
They respectful people at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Just like a businessman. So they wouldn't really take it that far. So when Brody made that little video on Twitter.
Okay, now he's referring to Teofimo Lopez.
No, it was smart promotion. He promoted himself very well. But I hope he get a fight off that, because he ain't fighting me. I don't want to fight him. He racist. It's probably not even gonna get to the fight. I'm telling you, he racist. All right, but now see, so he says he didn't. I didn't hear him accusing Teofimo Lopez of doing it. I heard him say it was good marketing, meaning the video that Teofimo Lopez did, the one we just showed. So I don't think he's accusing Teofimo Lopez of being the mastermind behind the fruit basket. Hey.
That being said, it is interesting that he's calling Teofimo Lopez a racist, overtly. Oh yeah, he's racist. Because I don't know if people have been following the whole Teofimo Lopez saga, but he's been poking at Terence Crawford, trying to get a fight with Crawford. And at some point, he said something about Tank Davis and Terence Crawford, and he said, whichever monkey wants to get the banana. And then he looked at the screen, so at the camera, so he knows what he's doing. He's using certain language that people are highly likely to construe as racist, but he can always hide behind the I'm not racist thing. So he's trying to troll. And people are finally getting on board with what we've been saying for 5 years now, that the guy is a very annoying person. He's a very sensitive guy who's trying to act outwardly trollish to try to compensate for that fact. Meanwhile, right before the Kambosos fight, he's crying about how he wants to die most of the time and blah, blah, blah. So he's an annoying guy. Part of me wants to help him, but then the realistic part of me says, fuck this guy. He's too annoying. I don't want to. If I were a psychiatrist, I wouldn't have him near me. Too annoying. That's what I would actually write in his.
Just end it all, man.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go that far, but I would write in his dossier, fucking annoying, send him off packing to somebody who can stand him. And so that's what it is. But again, people are now saying that because of that video that Teofimo Lopez made, in conjunction with what he said months ago, that there was one guy called Sour or something on Twitter. He says, better watch out if we see you on the street because we're going to shoot you or something like that. He actually said that, like a fucking online physical threat of murder because of things that were said. I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, didn't people learn anything last week from the Canelo Jake Paul situation when a couple of people said, "Oh, I have it on good authority," which these people don't have context with good authorities. That the Jake Paul Canelo fight is done. It is done, and people jumping the gun. I knew it. Canelo's a duck. He's a fucking he's also want to box anymore. He's a pussy, and it turns out it was all fake. All these people jumping the gun.
Canelo's ducking a guy who's never fought at that level, right?
But what I'm saying is, didn't people learn their lesson from last week in terms of assuming things? Like they're assuming Teofimo Lopez is a racist. They're assuming he sent the basket. Like we don't know who sent the basket. Again, it could all, like Thunderdome said, it could all be easily disproven or proven or whatever if somebody actually applied some investigation. But you know what? None of these journalists on Twitter, these guys who get these interviews with the fighters, none of them are going to ask them that question. Because why would they want to do that? They're rattling a cage. They're rattling a cage that they don't want rattled. Because think about it. Let's say, and I'm not saying this is what happened, but let's say that it turns out that somebody from Keyshawn Davis' team had something to do with that basket. Now Top Rank is going to be promoting a Keyshawn Smollett. That's how it's going to be a bad look. So that's why I think that's why they don't want to. That's one reason why they probably don't.
Jesse Smollett, Smollett. That guy is not the only guy who's done this before. Right? He's just the only one that got prosecuted. Because he added violence. He took well, put it this way: Chicago was pissed off at him. Right, the Chicago PD was upset with him.
Interesting.
He basically got off on a slap. Yeah, he got off with a slap on the wrist because when it got to the district attorney, it looks like there might have been some some favoritism there in Smollett's side. But he's not the only one. In fact, a lot of these dudes make this shit up. They're liars. It's their way of I don't want to go into a whole bullshit about this, but anybody with a little bit of common sense and experience knows that some people in that community, that's what they do when they plan to do something to you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that in case something goes down and something happens to you, they'll be like, "Oh, he called me the N-word," So, that's why I see this as more likely a scam coming from Keyshawn's side. But it could have been Teofimo. Without a doubt, it could have been him.
Dora made, Dora's a nut job, but he made a good point. And I'm kidding, by the way, Dora. Don't go into a fucking Keyshawn Davis situation. He's going to come at me like Keyshawn Davis. No, but Dora brought up a good point, recognize. He said, we don't even know if Teofimo Lopez was in New York when this happened. I mean, it's possible he sent somebody, but now the story is getting more intricate and more unlikely. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we don't know where Teofimo Lopez was at the time. So, again, this could all, like Thunderdome said, we're all, explaining here about what could have been, what could have happened. Just somebody investigate. Check the CCTV tapes. Recognize, you work in buildings all the time. You know that in New York, there's cameras all over the place now.
Bro, in New York City, just let me tell you how much cameras there are. In the projects, and I think I'm right when I say this. In just about every housing projects in New York City, every single building has cameras.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about a commercial area where there's hotels, and what do you think they have?
That's
Okay.
right.
The projects have CCTV in every building. Every single, when I say every building, you could imagine some fucking commercial area in Manhattan, with there's hotels and all that. They got them all over the place. So
there you go.
That's all they got to do is go back to this.
Butcher says the box came from the Illuminati. I mean, hey, you never know. See, some people might be saying, "Oh, B, you're a conspiracy theorist." I'm a truth theorist. I want to get to the truth. I want to find out who did this. And no, I don't believe watermelon juice can melt steel beams. I don't believe in that. I've said it from the beginning. I knew something was fishy here, and I'm going to continue saying so. By the way,
BDA, you want to know something?
What's that?
You want to know something, BDA?
Mm-hmm.
Had they sent that to me, I would have been like, man, how did you know? This is exactly what I like. Watermelon and bananas.
Wait a minute.
Just saying.
You like the waffles with the ice cream on it, don't you? Isn't that what you said a long time ago?
There you go.
So there
waffles,
you go. Waffles,
ice cream.
If you want to send a little care package,
good.
If you want to send a little care package down Recognizes way, make sure to send him some waffles, some ice. What type of ice cream, by the way? Walnut or?
No. Vanilla ice cream for that. When it comes to vanilla ice cream, yeah, vanilla.
You can't forget the grape soda, right?
Ah, come on. Wait a minute.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're gonna send me some fried chicken and watermelon, you can send me some grape.
You're Puerto Rican, right? So it got to be Fanta, the grape Fanta.
Fanta, yeah. By the way, I had some fried chicken this past Saturday. It was good, but it didn't have reheat value, which is one thing that I really rank food on. If it has no reheat value, it loses points. But shout out to Virtuoso, by the way. Shout out to Virtuoso for his contribution with the super chat. He says, Teofimo once said, whichever monkey gets the banana. Well, he chose Keyshawn. Also, he's saying that Teofimo probably sent the box. Also, he says, those two have history as far as sparring is concerned. Yeah, I remember that from one of those ESPN Tom Prank behind the scenes thing where Teofimo Lopez and Keyshawn Davis were going at it. Apparently, they sparred once and they felt like it was unfinished business. So, but do you just heard Keyshawn Davis say he's not going to give Teofimo a fight because he's a racist? He's a racist. So even if the fight makes money, he's willing to forego that for his principles, which I can appreciate. But what happens if the guy you think is racist isn't really racist? Then aren't you really just essentially wasting money? I don't know.
What about embarrassing?
So, I would say, how much credit can you give this dude, really? Because you're saying that you already told us you're not going to fight Shakur Stevenson ever. Now you're going to say, oh, I'm not going to fight this dude because he's racist. Okay, and who's the next dude you're not going to fight? You're not going to fight Ryan because what? He's too tall. Like, what's going to be the problem?
I mean, people
I don't like that. I don't like that shit.
He's not going to fight Tank Davis because he made fun of him.
Too many tattoos.
Wanted to kill himself or something like that.
This brings us to another point, by the way, because people said the same thing about Canelo when he said, I'm not going to fight Benavidez because he disrespected me. And people jump to the gun and conclusion, say, oh, there you go. He'll never fight Benavidez because of this reason. People take, I don't know where people grew up or how many people they've interacted with, but usually when somebody says something, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to actually do it. I mean, remember, Canelo said he wasn't going to fight any Mexicans. He ended up fighting Jaime Munguia. Last week, so many people jumped the gun and thought he was going to fight Jake Paul, and it turns out it was BS. So, again, same thing people are doing here. When Keyshawn Davis says that, now, I did ask Thunderdome yesterday, I said, do you think Keyshawn Davis is genuine about it when he says he's never going to fight Shakur Stevenson? Now, Thunderdome feels that, yeah, they're probably never going to fight each other. He says they're probably going to take losses before they even get to fight each other. So that makes sense. But let's say that doesn't happen. Let's say they're still undefeated. I could still see a scenario in which they fight each other because, again, these dudes are very volatile. You see how they're always barking at each other on Twitter. I think all it takes is one little misunderstanding. Maybe they're playing NFL 2K or something and, oh, you cheated. No, you cheated. And boom, that's it. They start fighting and boom, before you know it, the friendship crumbles. And then the money comes along. On top of that, hey, you can each get $6 million or something for fighting each other. All of a sudden, the friendship gets tossed to the side for the momentarily, out the window. I mean, think about it. There's been numerous examples of friends fighting each other. Because people on Twitter were saying, yeah, that's loyalty, something you fucks wouldn't understand, like real hostile. Like, yeah, defending Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson for not fighting each other. I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. that really
What if they can
displays.
make a lot of money fighting each other?
But recognize
That's not bad.
this. You tell me what you think. I think this denotes how much these guys look at boxing as if it's personal, because they're saying, well, they're defending Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson by saying, well, both guys are loyal to each other, and that's something that the average guy can't understand. But they're assuming that fighting each other in a boxing match is somehow personal. It's not. The rest of the world sees it as business. Like I was going to say, plenty of other fighters have tossed aside their friendship momentarily for a good payday. Maurice Blocker versus Simon Brown. These guys tried to kill each other, almost did, and they remained friends afterwards. Chris Bird and Jamil McClain were friends. That didn't prevent Jamil McClain from almost knocking Chris Bird's head off in their fight back in 2004. Marco Antonio Barrera and Johnny Tapia were friends. They fought each other. Carlos Hernandez and Chicanito. There you go, yeah. Carlos Hernandez and Chicanito Hernandez were friends. They fought each other. So there's just plenty of examples. I just think these dudes, I don't know.
What that dude, Jenny Jacobs and Kid Chocolate, they were Peter Quillen, they were friends, right?
Yeah, they were.
I
Absolutely.
think the Redchenko and Jacobs were friends too, on top of that.
When
they were from the same gym.
When Danny Jacobs and Kid Chocolate were on the come up, Kid Chocolate is actually originally from Detroit. And so when he came to live in New York, he was actually living with Danny Jacobs.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they fought each other. So this whole thing of loyalty, you know what it is? I don't know. Look at the way these guys react before a fight. Jawing, screaming, talking about, I'm going to beat your ass. It's personal, blah, blah, blah. They make it every fight personal for some reason. Maybe that's what they need to get motivated or something. I don't know. But you don't see Usyk doing that. You don't see Inoue doing that. You don't see Bam Rodriguez doing that. It's only, guys like Keyshawn Davis and Shakur Stevenson from that Terrence Crawford camp. They always got to push each other and shove one another. And, like Steven Nelson, too, was making a big deal about with those wide open eyes, like, crazy eyes, just like Keyshawn Davis. I come from the streets. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know what, man, we don't really care, man. Just fight your heart out. That's it. But they try to make it out into this big story.
And by the way, I kind of like Keyshawn's fighting style. I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I kind of like the style. Yeah. So I want him to be all right. You know what I'm saying? In terms of continue his boxing career and stop making excuses for why, he's not going to fight someone. And if he's involved with making the shit up, you don't need to do shit like that, because that just looks bad on you. So I do want him to you get what I'm saying? Like I want him to fucking to work out and just fight the best competition and whatever, let the chips fall where they may.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I do understand. I get everything you're saying, and because you're right there with me on that. But I do also understand that this is the nature of the game, because just in the previous episode, I was talking about how these press conferences are boring. Well, this type of shit now, it sort of sells a little bit. I'm not saying it's going to sell out Madison Square Garden. And again, I don't know why this fight's on Madison Square Garden. I don't know if Keyshawn Davis ever fought there before, or how much of an audience he can draw there. But again, it's the nature of the beast.
The last time I saw where a Ukrainian was involved and they packed the Garden, I mean, it was against Triple G, right? I mean, not some normal dude. It's Golovkin, who has a big following. This is Golovkin after he fought Canelo Alvarez, so he's even more known now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't know how they're going to pack the Garden with those two.
We'll see, man. He's from Virginia, so I don't know what's going on.
He can't bring the whole state with him.
Right. No, yeah. I'm laughing because Sobers. I mean, yes, he sent me this. Hold on. So you got Steven Nelson from the same Bomac camp, the Crazy Eyes. We already saw what's his name? Keyshawn Davis is Crazy Eyes. And now Shakur Stevenson, who's not trained by Bomac, but he's part of that same circle. I don't know what the snack is giving them. Maybe there's some ephedrine in there, some amphetamines. I don't know. Yeah. And Crawford too. Crawford has that crazy face he makes when Eddie Hearn starts going at him, gets under his skin, he starts going nuts. Yeah, I don't know what they got in the water at that gym over there. But one last note on.
I would love to fight him.
Hold on a second. What is this?
I'm not out here.
Yeah. Okay. One last note on Fruitgate.
Probably whatever Panama Lewis and Berinchyk had in theirs.
Yeah, the one I mixed. The one I mixed. That's what. But one last note, fellas. One last note on Fruitgate, because again, we watched this clip over at Thunderdomes last night. This was Berinchyk. I think that's how you pronounce his name. The promoter of Berinchyk and Usyk and Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko, or manager, whatever he is, was going at it with Bomac, trying to explain himself. And again, you see, there's a box there. I don't know why what box is that? Is that I don't know what that is. Bomac is carrying around a box. And I guess, I don't know if it's a donut box, the baker's dozen or whatever. But anyway, check this out.
Exactly what I'm telling you. So it might be somebody
He's saying he ain't do it. He said he ain't know about it. But it's still somebody from his team.
Bring this hype inside.
Don't worry about it.
I do worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
I mean, it's about,
we gonna sell it in
it's
the
not
ring.
business. I mean, it's not about business. This is about how
Get the damn camera out the way, man. Go on somewhere.
Thunderdome was making a great point that why was Keyshawn Davis making such a big deal? Because again, this was yesterday after the press conference or during the press conference. Why make such a big deal about the fruit basket? But then Bomac goes, don't worry about it. Which one is it? Is it a big deal or isn't it? And Thunderdome was saying that this sort of, and I don't know what you guys think, but he was sort of saying that it's almost as if he doesn't want Krejcik addressing the point anymore because they don't want more questions to be brought up about, well, where did the box come from? Let's find out where the box came from. Let's find out who delivered it. Let's find out who put it together. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I mean, the first thing I would say, if somebody accused me of anything, and I know I obviously didn't do it, but like, because I'm very aware. I'm like, don't you guys got cameras all over here? Isn't there cameras in the hallways of the hotels? Yeah, so you should be able to see it, just in case it went through security or whatever, and somebody actually left it by his door, right? So let's say if you ask security and security's like, yeah, we didn't receive no package for him, or the concierge, and they're like, yep, we didn't get no package for him. So okay, maybe somebody got in, which can happen, right? Because sometimes security at a hotel, they won't ask you who you're here to see or if you're staying here, they'll just let you go right through. And you go on past that, then my other thing would be, do you have cameras in your hallways? And if they're like, yeah, okay, so then let's go see who dropped off a box in front of your door.
Yeah, because listen, I've stared at my share of fancy hotels. I'm not some rural rube that doesn't know anything but the big city. I've been to the big city, believe me. And they got cameras all over the place nowadays. They're cheap. This ain't the 1970s anymore. Yeah. They got cameras all over the place. But that's the thing though. So Bomac saying don't worry about it, and then he makes a big deal about get that camera out of the way. And I thought get that camera out of the way. Initially, I thought, it's because he doesn't want something to come out and then it get recorded. But then, like Thunderdome pointed out, there's cameras all over the place. Look at that. Behind there, that's the top rank camera, I believe. I think that's the one they used to film the behind the scenes stuff. And then there's other people here filming. You can see them with their phones. So there's cameras all over the place. So we were trying to ascertain why he would turn around to that one particular camera guy and tell him to get out of there. And Thunderdome hit the nail on the head. He's doing that to sort of buy himself a couple of seconds and make a big deal about the camera so that he can stop being confronted by Krejcik or Krajcik, whatever his name is. And I said, yeah, that's true. Or that's probably what it is. Again, I don't know. But yeah, man, that's what it is. So with Keyshawn Davis, he needs all this to sort of get himself propped up or whatever. I don't know. And it turns out that the guy used to be in a mental home. He used to be in the home. I didn't even know about this up until this week. Check this out.
I think he gay. I don't need Tank.
Wait a minute, that's not it. Hold on a second. Well, let me play this in the meantime. This is him going after. This is him going after Tank Davis. And then let me find the other clip.
I think he gay. I don't need Tank, bro. I would love to fight him, but I'm not out here pushing for no Tank fight, bro. He's so unpredictable. I don't know what light skin gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here doing what I
Called him light skin.
need to do for my family and for myself. He give off a lot of feminine ways, so I think he gay. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that about him.
So what do you guys think? I mean, he's going. I mean, he's going at it pretty hard on Tank Davis. They're calling him gay.
I agree with him there.
Ah, come on, wait a minute, what?
Just saying, man.
No, I do agree
I'm saying
that.
his
Yeah, he walks around with a
possibility.
purse. Yeah, you're right. Kissing Broner, dancing like he's at the Tony Awards. I mean, I don't
On
know.
that
Yeah.
on that subject, BDA, you seen that little clip where they asked Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis what their favorite emojis were, and Gervonta Davis goes, "This is my favorite one," and it's like I sent you like a screenshot. You know, it's like the nails being painted.
What?
A very feminine emoji. You know what I mean?
This dude, you think he's playing it up?
I guess
now,
they're all
or-
kind of fruity, right? But like the one with the nails being painted is like obviously feminine. You know?
You think he's playing it up now, or his true self is coming out in the 21st century?
No. If you look at, he posts that kind of stuff on a social media. He'll tell somebody something and he'll put that behind it.
Well, I gotta
like,
tell you,
girlfriend type shit. You know?
how do you what does he do? What?
Oh no, I gotta take rewind for that one, BD.
Come on. All right, listen. I can't find the exact clip that Thunderdome was playing. It was from ESPN, but here's another one. Essentially, he tells the story.
People always ask, will you ever fight Shakur? You've always been very vocal about it. You're not going to. Explain to us why he's like family and like it's like fighting your blood brother.
I mean, shit, just this weekend, him and his entire family was over my house. Like, we was playing basketball. Afterwards, they came to my crib. We eating together at the crib. Shit, we just had Lil Bro over. Big Slime, my cousin Big Slime was just sparring in my garage. I got the whole video. Like, bro, it's family. Like, it's family, bro. Like, I'm never ever fighting Shakur. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's not even gonna feel right.
What were some of the experiences like with you guys growing up like as young men and young teenagers in Virginia? Like, what's some of those things that shaped you to know, like, he's my brother, man, I could never do that?
Yeah, the moment when I was like, all right, yeah, Shakur, I genuinely actually got real love for you was when I was going through my deep depression times. Even before I was going into the mental home, I used to tell my brother a lot. But then I started like backing off from my little brother because he was my little brother. I started talking to Shakur a lot about like how I was feeling and how I was thinking and what I was doing to myself. And Shakur was just giving me advice that I really like taking and like, damn, okay, I got you and stuff like that. And then I end up going to the mental home and, you know, like he calling me in there, checking up on me and stuff like that.
Conjugal visits.
Get out of the mental home, he pulling up on me, making sure I'm straight, making sure I get back in the gym, make sure I continue to do what I love. So he was there for me with my worst times, bro.
All right, so first of all, that's a revelation that the dude was in a home.
Wait, what's that background noise?
I don't know, but that's the thing though. He says he was in the home, and I'm thinking, well, now it makes sense why he's so agitated. The guy can't control his emotions. He had to get some therapy or something. And I mean, I don't know. It's somebody.
He's a loon.
Then he says that thinking that a guy like Tank's gonna have pity for him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's what Thunderdome was saying. He was saying like, he's calling the guy light skinned.
If you know anything about the hood, you know about characters, and you would know that Tank is one of the dudes that you can, if you're his enemy, right? Like they got these little beefs that they got online and shit. That's the worst guy to ever let know that. Of course, he's gonna make fun of you.
Yeah, that's the thing, though. How can
Absolutely. And then you're gonna what? You're not gonna fight him either.
Exactly.
By the way, he's talking about racism this, racism that. He's calling Tank Davis light skinned. Like that's an insult or something. That was also very weird.
Oh, I mean, any light skinned dude knows, you know. I mean, I don't want to make this about that, but you know,
light skinned dude's supposed to be nice, right? And dark skinned dude's supposed to be mean.
Well, you know, there's a little bit of hate there. This is, and I'm willing to say that it's both ways. Sometimes it's both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, the dark skinned dudes always hate on the light skinned dudes the most.
Now you got a whole bunch of.
In regards to, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, recognize in regards to like your enemy and then gonna like really dog on you when you were exposed weakness. That's not specific to the hood. I grew up in an area Augusta was not the hood, and I can tell you right now, if your enemy's got any sense of weakness,
Well,
They were
yeah.
blasting it everywhere on front to like take every ounce of dignity you had so you would put up or shut up.
This is not exclusive to bad areas. Absolutely. This is like when you're at war, right? And your enemy, in this case, these guys haven't fought. They're just boxers that fight more or less in the same way that could possibly meet. And they don't like each other, or at least that's what they have expressed through social media. Well, if you know anything about character, you would know that the worst person to reveal that, and that Tank is the worst person to find that out. Of course, he's going to make fun of you. Absolutely. I would be shocked if he didn't.
Mm-hmm. So would I. So would I. By the way, Thunderdome in the chat says, the NBA, shout out to Thunderdome, by the way, everyone go check out his channel. He says, the NBA has a little light skin, dark skin beef going on right now. I didn't know that. Is that what's going on?
Oh, yeah. Look at the little rap beef between, what's his name, Drake and Kendrick Lamar.
No, but I mean the NBA. What's going on in the NBA specifically?
Well, I don't know what's going on.
WNBA?
I watch it no more. I don't really watch it anymore, but it's going on in the NFL. Apparently, they kicked out Patrick Mahomes out of the black club. That's what I heard.
Interesting. Things are getting racial. Let me tell you, it's we here at the BDA and the Boxing Debate Arena, we abhor to get into race. It's all about boxing for us, but every once in a while, this type of stuff comes out. You got to address it. I got to tell you, it's weird the direction in which the world continues to go in. But be that as it may, yeah, I think it's a good fight. Hey, by the way, Puerto Rico, we've got Xander Zayas fighting tomorrow as well. So we'll see what happens there with him. He's fighting a guy that looks like he's tough.
That's right. They got the man that has my boy Virgil Ortiz second guessing.
Nah, come on, wait a minute.
Come on. I'm getting tired of this nonsense. Let's be honest, okay? Zayas put his hat in the race, and they chose not to fight him. Come on.
I heard that they didn't want to have another Jared Anderson, who's fighting tomorrow, by the way. But they didn't want to have another Jared Anderson situation going, where the guy goes outside of the top ranked stable and ends up getting beat. Too much too soon, perhaps, for old Xander Zayas.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that. All right, maybe for Virgil Ortiz that would have happened, but not for my.
Bob Aaron cracked the leash.
Come on. Hey, but you know what's interesting about that is that
ready to connect. Click connect.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is we were talking about that yesterday on Thunderdomes, where he. By the way, again, I don't know if Thunderdome was here to hear that, but yeah, shout out to you, Thunderdome, for breaking the whole Keyshawn Davis thing down, because now Keyshawn Davis, I don't know if you saw it, but he ended up apologizing or half apologizing to Berinchyk for that. So I think Thunderdome was on the right track there. The other thing I wanted to mention is, recognize you left before we ended talking about that, which is that Shakur Stevenson and Kid Austin are going to be fighting. And I don't know if I didn't even know this until a couple of weeks ago, but Shakur Stevenson, we know he's Puerto Rican. He was repping the Puerto Rican flag not that long ago. Kid Austin is Dominican. Oh no, excuse me. No. What is he? No. Hold on. Maybe he's something Latino too, where they get Afro Latinos there. Now, so it's a Puerto Rican. It's an inter-Latin matchup that we got going. Recognize. Well, who are you going with?
Well, if it turns out that Schofield's Dominican, then I got to go with Shakur. I hate.
Hold on. You cut off. So the only thing I heard was he's Dominican, and then you said I hate. So now it sounds like you're saying you hate Dominicans. So just you want to clarify what you said?
No, I don't hate. Come on, man. I don't hate Dominican.
I'm just saying that's what it sounds like.
News. That's fake news. No, okay. I'm saying if Schofield's Dominican, then I got to roll with Shakur. But I'm kidding. I just want to see a good fight between them, man. That's it. I just want to see if this kid Schofield, who looks like he brings it every fight. I just want to see how Shakur. I want to see how they both handle each other. Basically, I want to see them get in the ring. Let's see if they go through adversity. And if they can make it adjustments and just a good fight overall. I want Shakur, when he's in a good fight, not to backfoot it like he's trying to avoid confrontation. That's all.
That's all. Not too much to ask for a guy who's getting paid $5 million or thereabouts to fight on our TVs. Listen, I don't just put anybody in my TV. I got high standards. All right. I watched nothing but the highest order of documentaries, art house films. I just saw the Paradiso trilogy recently. Fantastic film, 4 hours long, all in one take. It's not pretentious, it's artistic. That's what graces my screen. So if Shakur Stevenson wants to make it to my screen, baby, you got to deliver. All right, that's all I'll say about that. The other thing is,
baby.
Oh, but was that?
I said that's right, baby.
That's only, yeah. I don't know why I said baby at the end there. By the way, speaking of art house, we're gonna get. I hope we get some artistic calls. We got the phone number right there, left hand middle portion of your screen. Call in. I want to get people's opinions on who do you think did this. Teofimo Lopez, Keyshawn Davis, Berinchyk. More importantly, I'm curious. Do you think Teofimo Lopez is indeed a racist? Because it seems to me that a lot of people are just throwing out that accusation without really seeing the proof. But then again, I do understand why people are saying that, because Teofimo Lopez is doing himself no favors. He's doubling down on this whole thing. So I want to hear from people, and let's go to the phone lines right now. And then we'll get back to the panel here. 619, you're on the air. 619, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jose.
Oh, Jose, what's up, man?
Yeah, I was watching when the face-off when Berinchyk pushed what's his name, Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn Davis was pestering Berinchyk, and then Keyshawn Davis pushed Berinchyk first. He gave him a little nudge. And all that Berinchyk did was push him right back, give him that little nudge back, but he just fell off the stage, you know. But at the end of the day, I think it's just mind games, man. Like at the end of the day, whoever like falls into the of getting mad and stuff, like Keyshawn seems to be like it got to him, that could affect the fight also, you know. But also, I was looking at their previous fights, and I guess Keyshawn Davis fought what's his name?
Lemos.
What's his the Argentinian guy?
Yeah, Lemos.
That was like a questionable stoppage. That was a questionable stoppage, and I've been looking at Keyshawn Davis. I think he also fought that guy Madueño, and he couldn't. He Madueño hit him with everything, and or Keyshawn did, and he couldn't hurt him. So I think Keyshawn Davis kind of lacks punching power, and on the other hand, what's his name? Berinchyk fought Vaquero, and Vaquero's heavy-handed. I was just looking at that fight, and I'm kind of disappointed with Vaquero. You know, that he couldn't do more. But I think Keyshawn says he's going to stop him in the first round because of the bananas and the watermelon. But I think he will try to do that. I think so. That's where you have like the mind games, you know. If he tries to do that and he empties the gas tank, you know, but I don't think he can get Berinchyk out of there because, like I said, he fought Vaquero, you know, who I think, you know, punches harder, you know. But and also interestingly enough, that Madueño guy is fighting Oscar Duarte.
Right.
I kind of don't like Oscar Duarte, man. He's a tough guy. We'll say he punches hard. I think he has a good chin, but I actually kind of was picking Regis Prograis. I think Duarte's too robotic. You know.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
that's why
that fight's not happening. Yeah.
But that should be a good. That dude Madueño has a chin, you know. Keyshawn Davis, he couldn't stop him. You know, Keyshawn. Who has Keyshawn Davis stopped?
That's a good point.
The what's his name? The Puerto Rican guy. I think that guy was past his prime. You know.
Yeah. Pedraza.
So Pedraza. He couldn't get Madueño. The Argentinian guy. They kind of I think the ref helped him. Couldn't really get him out of there. Like you know. I think it was a stoppage, but something was wrong with what's his name? The Argentinian guy.
Lemos.
I think it was they he didn't have a chance to have a good camp or something, or something was wrong with that what's his name, the Argentinian guy?
Lemos,
yeah, Gustavo Lemos. Yeah, so I mean, So I don't know, man.
So who you picking then? Who you picking then?
Trying to hook up. They're trying to hook up Keyshawn Davis with the title.
Okay, well, who are you picking then, Jose?
Who am I picking?
Yes.
Well, I'm thinking they're trying to line up Keyshawn Davis for a title, so he may win if there's some fishy stuff, if you know what I mean. But Berinchyk should be able to win, but I don't know, man. It's weird. Keyshawn Davis is tall and lanky. I don't know. Seems like Berinchyk might just go in there and just kind of like lose his title in the first defense. You know what I mean?
We shall see. We shall see indeed. There's a lot of questions that will probably be answered tomorrow. So, Jose, we got to move on here, but thank you for your call and call back next time. All right. Easy out there. All right, man. Yeah, somebody's saying that, who was it that was pointing this out? Chet Collins. No, sorry, that's not Chet Collins. Hand History Vault says that I forgot to bring up that this is Keyshawn Davis' first 12-rounder. Oh, the Albright fight wasn't 12 rounds? Okay, that's interesting. But then again, I think Hand History Vault already said that this fight is fixed, so I don't know if it makes a difference if it's 12 rounds, 6 rounds. The fight's already fixed for him. If Berinchy's already going to take a dive, then what's the problem? Or what's the point? Which I don't know. I don't think it's fixed. Or maybe it is. We'll see. I mean, depends on what happens tomorrow. How am I supposed to know? But I haven't seen that many fixed fights in a long time. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. Hit the like. The phone lines are open, so make sure to call in, give us your thoughts on anything and everything boxing. Let's go to 713. 713, you're on the air. 713, what's on your mind?
Yeah, hello. This is Greg Terrible. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you, man.
Back to, I'm sorry, say that again?
I said that. Thank you for calling in, man. What's up?
So back to Keyshawn Davis. At first, I was skeptical on the about the racism thing. But as far as I can remember, the incident that happened with him and Teofimo's dad, I thought it was had some weight. That maybe maybe he did call it something racist. But as time progressed, not too long ago, didn't he get into a scuffle with the Vargas clan, like the whole brothers, and he made Fernando Vargas Sr. He made him look smart because Fernando, as a father, Fernando Vargas split them apart and de-escalated the situation, and then it's a rumor on the internet that the Vargas response was that we can't fight you because you're not a big name star, and he sort of made a big deal out of it. Ken Shaw and his brothers, well, just Ken Shaw, right? So I'm like, man, and now this incident with this box with bananas and watermelons, man, the common denominator is Ken Shaw. Really, I don't think, man, if they're sticking to a new law to promote this fight this way, that's another low blow to boxing. The way they're behaving themselves. But
Are you suggesting that Keyshawn Davis went bananas and went overboard with this little ploy? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that he's going to the extremes. Well, with the with the Vargas sons, I think that went to the extreme. Like, first of all, you're there to watch another person's fight, right? I think it was a Benavides. It was some fight that happened in Vegas. Or I think it was Canelo, as a matter of fact, with what's his name? The Puerto Rican Berlanga. Right. They had a scuffle, and Fernando Vargas, the father, he split both camps up. But first, I was skeptical about Ken Shaw. Now all of a sudden, there's just too many incidents in less than a year. Like, this is weird. Because not even Tank behaves himself this way. Like, we all know Tank is kind of weird, and he does, he's hanging out with the PBC, but not even Shakur does this, or not even Hopkins does this. It's just, it's too racist all of a sudden. Man, I think it's him, man. he's going around causing all kinds of commotion. And it's just him. I understand the Teofimo situation, but like I said, the Vargas kids, and all of a sudden this Ukrainian guy, he can't even speak English.
Right.
So, and I'm thinking it's him, man. And then I don't know what's going to be next. Like I said, this is within less than a year. I mean, this is not even a full blown year or a history of did he smoke weed? He got caught smoking weed or something like that.
But he's self-medicating though. Remember, he was in the but I mean, come on, he was self-medicating. He was in the home. He needed something to take the edge off.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay. Could be. You're right. Well, man, I hope he works it through it, and I hope people will go watch this fight to have fun, not to beat up. So supposedly fight racism. Supposedly, this is going to be at the Garden or at the theater.
I think. Well, it says MSG. That's a good question. I'm surprised. That's a good question. It says MSG, so I don't know, man. Remains to be seen what happens, where it takes place, and how.
That's like the world. That's the world's greatest arena from historic. But if it's a theater, it's just what 8,000 capacity, 7.
Well, I mean, the world's greatest arena is my bedroom, but I get what you're saying in terms of sporting events. Yeah, you're right. By the way, not everybody walks away from my arena, if that makes any sense. But listen, Greg, terrible, made some excellent points right there. We got to move on here. But who are you picking between Keyshawn Davis and Berinchyk? Who do you think is going to win?
I'm leaning to the Russian guy. I mean, he is a champ. Even if you bet, I think the odds are in his favor. Or even if you don't, if you bet on Keyshawn, I'm sorry, it should still be a pretty good live dog to bet on to make some money, though. That's
I would definitely take
that's what I would think.
Over.
I would assume.
I would take the Russian over Kenshaw, but I'm taking Keyshawn for Berinchyk.
All right, yeah. Greg, people in the chat are up in arms. They wanted me to hang up on you 2 minutes ago because you kept calling Keyshawn Davis Kenshaw. I liked it, by the way. I think. My apologies. No, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I think Kenshaw sounds better than Keyshawn. Kenshaw sounds like a wrestler or something. You know what I mean? It sounds better than Keyshawn. I don't even know what the hell Keyshawn is. What's a Keyshawn? Sounds like a bird.
I apologize, fans. I'm sorry. I let you guys down. But I corrected. I mean, I'm
didn't
not
let anybody down. You didn't. In fact, I think you pushed us up. I think that's what you did. You pushed the show up. So shout out to you, Greg. Don't let these people get to you. They're always coming. They're always coming at everybody.
Okay, I'm gonna call him Davis, Mr. Davis, right? Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis. All right, yeah, that works too. All right, Greg. Thank you for your call, man, and stay busy out there, right, man? Take it easy.
All right, take it easy. Bye.
Yeah. Kenshaw sounds better, man. Kenshaw sounds better than Keyshawn. I don't even know what Keyshawn sounds like. Some sort of dumb bird that steals all your seeds from your backyard. Don't forget to hit the like, fellas. What'd you say?
Crenshaw's the name of a Christian.
Well, there you go.
The name of what you use to cut the trees. What do you call it? Okay. Sawmill. Chainsaw.
Interesting.
Chainsaw.
You sound kind of low there, Gonzalo. Having a hard time hearing you.
Right. Definitely.
Before we move on here, we're almost at the end of the show here, almost 2 hours. I want to play something here because Tank Davis was on a podcast called the Safe Space Podcast or something like that. And he said, hold on a second, where is it? All right, this is what he had to say about a potential prolonged career.
Won this and that's your last fight?
Hold on a second. That's not it. It's taking a long time to load here. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, now it's playing without me even clicking on it. All right, here we go.
Would you be content if you won this and that's your last fight? Or still some more heads you got to put on the wall?
Yeah, it's definitely some more heads to put on the wall for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely in the back of my mind always. Like, just me training, I'd be like, damn.
All right, that clip didn't tell us anything. What the fuck? I mean, that's just more talking. Yeah, I definitely want to do this. I definitely want to do that. Definitely. I definitely want to definitely. It's like, what? What are you going to do? Are you going to fight? And by the way, I think apparently, and again, I don't want to talk out of school here, so if anybody has the exact clip or exact quote, I think he admitted, he said, yeah, I don't think Lomachenko was scared of me. I think just that the fight just didn't take place because it didn't take, things didn't fall into place at the right moment. So it makes all these Tank Davis fans who were saying Lomachenko's scared, everyone's ducking Tank Davis, he's the most ducked. How can he be the face of boxing and the most ducked at the same time? Never happens. Everyone wants to fight the face of boxing because supposedly he brings in a lot of bucks. And that's the other thing. They recently released a list of the highest earning sports figures across the world. Apparently, in terms of boxers, Jake Paul, because he's a boxer now, they put him in the list. Canelo, Joshua, I think Usyk and Fury. I think those were the four. No Tank Davis. So if Tank Davis is the face of boxing, and whenever somebody brings up the fact that on Twitter, and everybody says, hey, why isn't Tank Davis fighting these guys, this titleist or that titleist, or, his fans always reply, he already said he's not in it for the belts, he's in it for the bag, the money, the bag. Well, apparently he's not even making that much money. So he's sacrificing his legacy for a couple of more extra peanuts than every other lightweight is making. That's it. He's not making anywhere near the type of money that Usyk is making or Canelo or Jake Paul. And for the actual boxers, Fury, Usyk, and Canelo, and I guess you could put Joshua in there too as well. Those guys are fighting for legacy and for money. You can do both. So this whole thing of, he's fighting for the bag and not the belts never made any sense because you can do both. In fact, if you want to make the money, you're supposed to be fighting the best. Look at him now. He's getting paid peanuts for fighting Lamont Roach and Hector Luis Garcia and Frank Martin. Nobody knows who those guys are. Who's going to pay this dude $10 million to fight those guys? It never ceases to amaze me how people just take whatever some fighter says or a manager says and they run with it. Oh, Tank is the highest paid guy in boxing. Who says who? What, did you see the receipts? Did you see the actual fucking commission reports?
He's not the highest paid guy in boxing. You could just, anybody with any level of smarts, he's not even top 5. Maybe he's top 5, but at 5.
Yeah. I didn't even think featherweights made that much. I thought you're supposed to climb the weights.
Well,
lightweight. We know guys like Canelo definitely makes more than him. Tyson Fury makes more than him. Usyk makes more than him. Joshua makes more than him. That's 4 guys right off the bat. I think Terrence Crawford might make more money than him. I think even Ryan Garcia probably demands more money than him. He's not the face of boxing, bro.
But by the way, excuse me, Blame Boxing and Bray reminded me, Inoue was on the list. The guy that everybody says has to come to the U.S. to fight because this is the mecca of the boxing. The guy's making more money than Tank Davis in Japan. So why the fuck does he need to fight over here when they all have to go to him? He fights the best over there in Japan. They go to him. Tank Davis is in the United States and he's not fighting the best. How does that make sense?
Tank Davis being the face of boxing is a phony narrative. That's all it is. It has no merit to it.
But recognize what shocks me is, it shouldn't shock me, by the way, but the way people believe it. They just repeat the same thing over and over and they believe it. No skepticism about it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the internet. They want to believe this stuff, but it's not reality, right? Like, they could say it all they want, but he's not. And okay, if you go by what the face in boxing entails, it's basically you're one of the at least I can't imagine you being under the top 3 most paid fighters.
Right.
At the very least. But he has a horrible resume, doesn't fight nobody. And if he does, he's pulling them down, he's pulling them up, He's not the face of boxing.
No. Doesn't seem like it. Let's go to a phone call here. Let's go to 929. 929, you're on the air. 929. What's on your mind?
What's up, BDA? What's up, Recognize, man? Listen, it's just kind of funny to me when, I think Loma, I think it was Klima's on his behalf that said that, Loma's going to take the rest of the year off, want to spend time with his family. And then it came out that he had an injury to his back. And these fucking idiots, these fucking numbskulls want to get online and say, he's ducking the fight. When, motherfucker, he's been chasing Tank for at least, the last 8 years. And they like to gloss over the fact that, Tank has been really, non-responsive, receptive to people calling him out asking him to fight this guy and that guy, and you know what's preventing him becoming the face of boxing is the fact that he has too many hanger-ons, too many yes men, telling him to, that what you're doing is okay. It's okay to fucking go through your boxing career fighting nobodies.
Ooh.
It never has been, never will be. To keep your fucking O afloat. Keep that O intact. So yeah, man. If he retires, man, I don't give a fuck. See ya, sayonara. I don't give a fuck. You basically prevented big fights from happening. You yourself. It's not just Al Haymon's fault. It's him. Because it's the promoter that's supposed to, listen to the fighter. Right. They want to fight somebody that they want. They got to write up a contract and make that fight happen. In the end, he calls a shot in his career. He likes to think of it as, they just tell me who to fight and all that shit, but not. If you're the face of boxing, you command, certain, fighters to come to you, But I don't see people, begging for a tech fight, because they can make money without them. So yeah, man, I just want to get that out of the way as far as Tank, but I just think that Keyshawn needs to really cool it, bro. I think that, his apology, his half-ass apology kind of, made him look like, he kind of realized that he fucked up. That's why he gave that half-ass apology. I still think that it's Teofimo Lopez just because what I wrote in the super chat. I don't want to repeat it, but yeah, man, that dude's kind of a troublemaker in my opinion. But since Keyshawn want to do this for the culture, you better perform. You better outperform your opponent. You better stay focused, man. Because I'm not rooting for Keyshawn, but I'm expecting him to win. I want him to win because I like his style, man. He's really good. He's a really good fighter, man. He's really tough and rugged. He knows how to mix it up. I like his performance against Lemos, man. But I'm just hoping that he could repeat that that performance. I know it's a little bit tougher because Berinchyk is a little bit trickier. Lemos was straight up. So yeah, man. I got Keyshawn by decision.
All right, there you go. Going with picking Keyshawn, but expecting Keyshawn. There you go, to do something. There you go, man. By the way, shout out to you, man, Virtuoso, for the call and for the Buy Me a Coffee contribution, man. Really appreciate it. And call back after the fight, man. And
anytime, man.
We'll see what happens. All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks for calling.
Peace, man. Later.
All right. Peace. That was Virtuoso right there. Let's go to another phone call here. Let's go to 619. 619, you're on the air. 619, what's on your mind?
Yeah, what's up, guys? I thought Tank Davis being the face of boxing, I think that was just him trying to steal the clout from Canelo. At one point, Canelo, when Canelo was considered the face of boxing, I think Tank Davis was he was trying to be the face of boxing, so he just started saying, "Hey, I'm better than Canelo." That's why he just trying to steal the thunder. But it's kind of like Clarissa Shields, saying that she's the GOAT. Did you guys talk about like Clarissa Shields, she just won another title in the heavyweight, so she thinks she's like the face of boxing.
When I talk about Clarissa Shields, I start falling asleep. So I try not to blow.
Oh, yeah. I recognize he's not a fan of the women boxing there, Jose.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be very honest. I don't want to get BDA in trouble. I don't want to get BDA in trouble, but I'm going to be very honest. When it comes to women boxing, it's like saying that you can change your sexuality, basically. That's how I see women boxing.
Jose, how about you?
No,
you enjoy,
I was just saying.
You enjoy the women's boxing, Jose, or you don't like watching that?
Oh yeah, they're pretty. So they're pretty good fights, actually.
There you go.
Yeah, Mando Serrano and then some Mexican chicks and the lighter weights. I used to watch them. The Princesa Azteca, Jackie Nava, from TJ. I used to watch her fights. I actually saw her fight live in TJ. I went, and the day she got knocked out by the Argentine chick.
All right, well, there you go.
By the way, Jose, I don't knock.
I don't knock anybody
that
drink boxing.
and I didn't really watch the fights.
Yeah, no, Recognize says he doesn't knock anybody who watches female boxing. That's sort of his way of telling you shouldn't be watching it. I know Recognize, that's how he rolls. But anyway, but yeah, listen, I mean, hey, listen, the women, they work hard and everything, so they deserve a modicum of respect as well for trying to make it in this business. It ain't an easy business to make it. It's a hard business, so shout out to them.
Anything I was just saying, Clarissa, what's her name? The GOAT, she gets on my nerves by her saying she's the GOAT.
Right.
Ever since she first started saying that, man, it annoys me that she considers herself like the greatest woman boxer of all time just because she says, she's like the auto appointed, she just started saying that, and people actually bought into that, and people, that's weird, man.
I agree, man. I agree. All right, well, listen, Jose, man, thank you for your call, and call back next time.
She's the self-proclaimed GOAT.
Yeah, and you can't do that, by the way. You can't be self-proclaimed the greatest. You got to let other people do it, and she likes to do it her way. What can I tell you, man? All right, Jose, thank you for your call, man. Call back next time.
All right.
Take it easy out there.
All right.
By the way, PJ, when it comes to the face of boxing and all that stuff, look. First of all, I don't like to get into that shit, right? Because to me, it's just shit.
Oh.
For the language. So I apologize for the language.
That's right.
If you're gonna do that, Canelo, from the way I understand it, signed a 4-fight deal that's probably worth $500 million. Can you tell me if there's anything that even comes close to that in Tank's future? Anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
okay. Why is the face of boxing being outdone when it comes to profits and earnings by miles in terms of money?
I mean, as always, Recognize, you cut right through the BS, man, with a fucking hot knife right there, man. You're right. Makes no sense. Yeah. That's the most tragic thing, is that he could have actually made a lot of money for himself and actually made some very entertaining fights for us. But instead, he chose to stay on the back burner over there at the PBC and then pretend that he's this big star. By the way, speaking to you guys' point, Mr. Chirac, shout out to Mr. Chirac for his contribution via the Buy Me a Coffee app, says, women's boxing sucks because women suck at boxing, he says. Clarissa Shields literally fought 4 baby mamas with a 5-1 record. Plus, Katie Taylor is the most overrated fighter I have ever seen. Women's MMA is way better. Well, there you go. Shout out to Mr. Chirac, who's not too fond of the ladies duking it out.
There was a fight we had, the GOAT, that I thought she lost, but they gave it a decision. I don't know. Don't ask me who the girl was. All I know was the girl was white, from what I could tell.
It was either the white girl that looks like a lesbian or the black or Mexican girl that looks like a lesbian. It has to be one of those.
I know somebody beat her. In my opinion, that girl beat her. Whoever it was, beat her, and they gave it a decision anyway.
There you go. Let's go on our phone call here. Let's go to 612. 612, you're on the air. 612, what's on your mind?
Hey, what's up?
What's up, 612?
Yeah, so can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, yeah, so, this Keyshawn Davis fight this weekend, this is going to be a really, really, really good fight. In my opinion, this is probably like his first real test, because them Ukrainian guys, they got like a really, really good boxing style. I like the Ukrainian fighter style. I like how they fight. This guy is he's not as good as Loma, but he's kind of Loma-like. And I think this is going to be a really good test for him. I got him winning, Keyshawn, but I think this is probably going to go like 12 rounds. It should be a really good fight. And I knew the Ukrainian dude was good when he beat that Mexican dude because Navarrete.
Mm-hmm.
Because when he fought him, I was like, Navarrete has a weird. He's a weird fighter technically. Like he has weird. He's a bad technical fighter. That Navarrete dude. But the Ukrainian dude, he was able to get through that and beat him. That's why when I watched the Valdez and Navarrete fight, I was kind of frustrated with Valdez because I don't know why he got beat by a fighter with bad technique like that. But the Ukrainian dude, he was able to get through that. So I think this is going to be a really good test for Keyshawn. So I'm looking forward to this one. So I'm going to check this one out. The undercard's pretty good too. I'm going to check that out too. But this should be a really good fight. And as far as that, all that racist shit going on, well, boxing's well, everybody knows boxing is racist. That ain't, to me, I think this is just to get people more interested, to get people to watch more. You know how they put bullshit out there to get you to tune in. I think this is all this is. All this shit was set up. I don't believe none of it. You know.
Oh, wait a minute.
So,
what do you mean?
Yeah, you know.
Are you saying you believe Top Rank might have been behind this whole snafu?
Yeah, I think this was. I don't believe the Ukrainian dude would do some racist shit like that. Because honestly, I wouldn't give a fuck if he was racist. Like, I don't even care. Because I already know people be doing that shit. Whether it's a white person, Mexican, they all do racist shit. So it ain't really nothing to be complaining about. You know, like boxing. Boxing is real. Boxing. Not everybody, but a lot of people in boxing are racist. Like, people get mad when the black fighter wins, shit like that. They come up with all these little dumbass excuses. Like, there's so many examples. I guess like when Canelo got caught with the shit in the system, like, they act like that shit never happened, but he actually did test positive. Floyd never tested positive in no shit like that, but somehow Floyd gets shitted on for something like that, but nobody say nothing about Canelo.
When Floyd Mayweather got a TUE for his fight against Manny Pacquiao, he got a temporary use exemption. They made excuses too.
See, there we go again. See, that's not true. But you read something,
that's not true. He
and you're saying that.
Got it.
Now, when
absolutely, hold up, caller. He absolutely
so Floyd's a cheater.
He got a TUE. Do you know what it is? Do you know what a TUE is? Do you know what it is?
No, I know what it is. But what I'm saying is, nobody would be bringing that up. The only reason why somebody would say that. The only reason why somebody would say that about Floyd is because they're mad about the Canelo shit. If I bring up, Canelo got caught, he gave that crazy ass excuse. You're dumb as fuck if you believe. When he said that he let me say this before you can go right after me. When he said that he ate contaminated meat, if you believe that, you dumb as fuck.
Which is blood. You're dumb as fuck because you're not listening. I'm telling you all facts. All facts.
I couldn't even hear you.
Everything I just said to you.
No, it's not true. Floyd is not. Floyd never tested positive. Floyd never tested positive.
Everything I just said to you is a fact. You could go look it up for yourself. You don't have to
I know what you're talking about. Okay? There's no Floyd never tested dirty. Floyd never tested dirty. Everybody knows this.
Floyd Mayweather got a temporary use exemption for rehydrating in an illegal fashion that's considered illegal, and they gave him a TUE because if they didn't give him a TUE, it would have been considered a failed test. In other words, he broke protocol.
So while you're sitting here talking, I just typed it in on my computer. Why is there no article of that coming up? Explain that.
Look up.
You just said that to me. I typed in what you said. I typed in what you said. No article. There's no article coming up saying that. Explain that.
Thomas Hauser. Go look up Thomas Hauser. Thomas Hauser's.
This whole stupid ass shit.
2015 article, and he's got it up. Floyd never sued Thomas Hauser because it was all true. He got a TUE.
I just sat here.
Look it up.
Listen to that BS
you
said.
It up.
I typed it in.
Look it up. Go look it
on
up.
The computer. I'm sitting in front of the computer right now.
Go look up Thomas Hauser.
Nothing's coming up saying he did anything like that. You're telling me he did?
Go look up Thomas Hauser's 2015 article on the fight with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and he'll mention the TUE. He shows it, and Floyd Mayweather had a chance to sue him, and it said, "Nah."
Okay, I typed it in.
It's just people hate.
Nothing like that's coming up.
Well, I mean, just for the record, I'm
not seeing nothing.
Hold on, for the record, I don't know what. Hold on, caller. For the record, I just wrote Thomas Hauser, Floyd Mayweather, TUE. A bunch of articles came out. You said as detailed correction.
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather violated anti-doping rules before Manny Pacquiao bout. That's from the Washington Post. So there are results, but your point still stands. Look, listen.
So what's up, caller? How come you can't find it?
No, I'm typing it in. It's not coming up.
Yeah, man. I don't believe you. I don't believe you. You ain't typing shit in. You're lying.
I don't have to lie about
You're
that.
You're a liar.
But the thing about it though is, even if he did test positive, I don't even care because I know what's going on. You're only saying that because you're mad about the Canelo shit. Because you won't even put Canelo on blast for that.
I don't give.
The man said the man tested positive. He gave y'all a bullshit ass excuse, and y'all ran with that shit. But you're saying this stupid shit about Floyd when it's a known fact Floyd's not
I gotta interject real quick.
He violated anti-doping rules. He would never hear the end of that if that was true.
Caller, I gotta interject real quick because I recognize he's not a fan of Canelo. He's never actually complained about that.
I could care less about him.
Yeah, but I mean the point. Listen, I'm curious.
Let me say this. The reason why I brought the Canelo shit up is because I know y'all know this. If you notice, he got caught up with that. They said he tested positive. He admitted to it. Then he gave that bullshit ass excuse. You had dumb motherfuckers out here actually believing that shit. Everybody knew that was bullshit. But what they do, let's not say nothing about Canelo. Let's say something about the popular black fighter. He cheated, like that motherfucker's doing right now. Talking about anti-doping and all that bullshit. Everybody knows Floyd ain't never got caught dirty. Everybody knows that.
Bringing it up because you bringing it up.
You know that.
Bringing it up because you.
If this was a non-black fighter, you wouldn't even be talking about this shit.
Well, now that's it. We're getting into that. We're getting into that. Hold on. We're getting into that.
You can't fool niggas, bro.
Hold on, fellas. Don't make me mute anybody. Don't make me mute. Don't make me mute anybody, please. I mean, I understand. Listen, there's plenty of people out there that can say. There's plenty of people out there that say whatever they want. Again, there's people out there accusing Teofimo Lopez of sending the banana box without any proof whatsoever. So yeah, people can say.
I don't believe that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So people can just say whatever they want, and that doesn't mean that there's a whole majority of people saying that or a small minority. It's we'd have to come up with a census or something to determine how many people are saying it. What I will say is that there's plenty of people that have complained about Canelo, even though that so-called, that result was overturned, I believe. So that's what they went with. So the same way some people accuse Mayweather of the TUE, some people accuse the organizations of bending over for Canelo. So it goes both ways. Some people believe the Canelo excuse, some people don't believe it. Some people believe that Mayweather excuse, some people don't believe it. I mean, yeah, it does go both ways. But I don't know if boxing is really that racist because, and I'm not saying you said this.
No, it is. It is.
But I mean, when you say boxing, okay, but then say the boxing fans can be racist, not the whole boxing thing establishment is racist.
Right.
Well, the fans, they make up like 75% of the people that talk about it. The reason why I'm saying it's racist, though, is because I'm going off the Floyd and Canelo shit. The only reason why people get mad, consider this fight was 13 years ago, and I'm a big boxing guy. Mm-hmm. I get into arguments all the time with who over that Floyd and Canelo shit. Well, I listen to what they're saying. They just don't like the fact that a black guy was the first guy to beat him. That's racist. Why the fuck would you care if it was a black guy?
But you're conflating.
If you're a real boxing fan, you can have your preference. If you're a real boxing fan, that's cool. But everybody knows Floyd is a better fighter than Canelo. They're saying Floyd's a boring fighter because he didn't let motherfuckers beat his brains. That's not being a boring fighter.
But you're conflating two things. You said, but you're conflating two things. You said the people that accuse Mayweather of that absolutely have to be Canelo fans that are.
I never said that.
Yeah, you did say that, man. You said, well, the only reason they say that. You said the only reason they. Hold on. Let me finish.
So to say it again.
You said the only reason they say that, meaning the Canelo fans, is because Mayweather beat them. And I don't know. I think somebody can still be skeptical of that Mayweather rehydration IV thing without having to be a Canelo fan, and vice versa.
All right.
You can laugh.
So hold on. So you're saying, hold on. So you're saying
there was never a situation.
Caller, let me ask you a question because you were laughing, and you're very disrespectful right there. So let me just ask you: are you saying Thomas Hauser is a Canelo fan? Because he's the one that reported the whole Mayweather IV thing.
No, I don't think he's a Canelo fan.
Okay, so if somebody absolutely believes that there's something fishy with the Mayweather thing, you're saying, oh, they have to be a Canelo fan. They have to be mad that Mayweather beat them. Yeah, that's a very close-minded way of thinking. You're assuming that that's what it is, but you got no evidence that everybody that says that is a Canelo fan. You see where I'm going with this?
Let me ask you this then. All right, sure. I'll run with that. Let's play with that. Why do people say, all right, since we're talking about it, when Canelo fought Floyd, all right, check this out. Canelo had over 40 professional fights, right? That doesn't make you a young fighter. You fought him for 40 professional fights. You're young as far as your age is, but as far as boxing, you're actually an old fighter. You got a lot of experience. You're not green. You're not ready for somebody. Why do they keep saying that about Canelo when he fought Floyd?
But you have to ask
42 professional fights and 30 knockouts. He's a young, inexperienced fighter with that kind of background.
Well, you have to ask them.
I don't think so. Why do they keep giving them that excuse, though?
Why have you ever asked them that?
You need to ask them that.
No, I've asked them that. When I argue with people they just say, oh, he still wasn't ready. He was only 23. The man had 42 professional fights. That's not young. This man been knocking niggas out. He fought somebody better than him. That's why he lost.
But you did admit that he's young, though. You just said it. He's young.
He's young as far as age. He's young as far as his age. But as far as getting in the ring and actually fighting people, he's old. 40 professional fights? That's not that's not young, and that's not inexperienced. They're saying he's young and he was young and inexperienced when he fought Floyd.
Right.
But he had over 40 fights and 30 knockouts.
I have heard people say that.
He fought somebody that was too good for him and he lost.
So what's your point? I don't get what the point.
They weren't even that mad when Bivol beat him.
I don't get what the point is, though. What does that
my point is, I was listening to the show and y'all were talking about the little racist stuff. I feel like this is just content. I think you guys are smart enough to know that shit was fake. So, but I played into it, so I called it. So I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay, but I gotta ask, because that's a very big accusation to make of Top Rank. What's your evidence for it? You're so sure, but what's your evidence that makes you be so sure that Top Rank has something to do with it?
No, because they always pull. Keyshawn is a crazy guy, y'all. I think y'all know that.
Yeah,
they always pull crazy. There's always something crazy going on. Like they're saying T.O. is racist, but I'm hearing that the reason why he's acting like that is because he's mad because his child's mom is dating a black dude now. That's what I don't give a fuck, but that's what I heard. You know what I'm saying? That's some goofy shit. And I'm hearing that's why the little banana joke he said, that was racist what he said, but I actually like T.O., so I ain't tripping like that. But, but I'm hearing that sparked because he's mad because he broke up with his baby mom and she's fucking some black dude now and he's mad about that shit. So now he's like, fuck niggas and all that. Like a lot of Mexicans do or Hispanics do. I don't even give a fuck, but I'm just saying there's a lot of racist shit goes on in boxing. So as far as this racist incident Keyshawn is talking about, I honestly believe this shit was staged to get y'all to talk about it. It's something to talk about. More people tune into the fight. Now you're going to watch it. But I doubt.
But you still didn't.
Really
I hate to say it. I hate to listen.
I don't believe that.
You still didn't present a good point about how that. Like you're so sure that this was all staged by Top Rank, but you don't have any evidence other than Teofimo. I mean, I still.
Wait a minute. You believe this is real?
You're not answering my question, man. I asked you what evidence do you have, and you told me something about Teofimo Lopez, his wife getting banged by a black guy. I don't understand what it has to do with Top Rank. I don't understand what Top Rank has to do with it.
No, I was making a point to play into what you asked me because you said, do I have evidence?
Right.
So I'm saying that might be what it is. I don't have concrete evidence, of course.
I'm sorry, you didn't explain. You didn't explain it well.
I don't believe this incident is real.
Well, listen, maybe I have to rewind and re-listen to what you said, but it didn't make any sense. You started talking about Teofimo Lopez's wife getting banged by black guys, and then and my question was, what evidence do you have that Top Rank orchestrated all of this? And you told me about Teofimo Lopez's wife, black guys, Keyshawn Davis is nuts. How does Top Rank, who from Top Rank orchestrated this?
No, what I'm saying is, no, you asked me, I wouldn't have concrete evidence that Top Rank orchestrated it. So I had to make other points. That's why I brought up the Keyshawn being crazy.
Okay, so you don't have evidence. Okay, so you don't have evidence. You don't have evidence.
I don't believe. No, I don't. I never said I did. I said I do not believe this is real. I don't think y'all believe this is real.
But I need evidence to believe something.
I'm not
I
in
don't
Top
see.
Rank. I wouldn't know that.
I don't have I need evidence to believe something or not, or disbelieve it. And so I got no. You didn't present me any evidence.
All right. So judging by what I saw, this incident, I honestly believe, keyword believe, not saying I know for 100% fact, I believe this was staged. I do not believe that he would do something like that, the Ukrainian dude. I don't have evidence that he would, but I do not believe he did. So now I say that. Now I'm asking you, do you really believe this is a real incident? You really believe somebody did some racist stuff like that?
I don't know. There's like if you listen to the show earlier, we were talking about all the possibilities. It could have been Berinchyks' team, could have been a third party, could have been somebody from Keyshawn Davis's team. Anything's possible. But that's what I'm saying. I don't believe one thing either way. I'm considering and weighing all options simultaneously until I see more evidence. And that's the other thing.
I have my suspicion.
I have my
suspicion what it is.
That's fair. I can respect that.
Well, no, but you said like, oh, it's insane to believe that this might be real. I mean, why is it insane if there's no evidence either way to concretely prove one scenario?
It could be real.
I just don't believe he would do something like that.
All right, well, that's on you, man.
If this is real, now I'll say this: if this is real, I'll be shocked. If this is real, if let's say this is revealed, there's evidence that comes out, and then we don't have to speculate anymore. It's proven real. I would be shocked.
All right,
I'll say that. But for what I'm seeing, I think this is just some play shit they put out there to get more people to pay attention.
Yeah, let me ask the caller one question.
Go ahead, Rick. Guys.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that there's a possibility that this is real? Do you think there's any possibility? And if not, who do you think is playing this prank?
Well, I'm gonna say that more chance is possibly real, but I think Keyshawn made this up.
Whoa.
That's what I think.
I mean, I gotta tell you,
evidence comes out that this is real.
I agree with him.
I don't know.
I agree with the caller. I think that's what I'm leaning towards. I'm actually in agreement with the caller. I'm leaning towards that too.
Yeah,
but I don't know for sure.
Because I don't believe y'all really thought the I don't even know how to pronounce his name, the Ukrainian dude. I don't believe y'all think he would do that. I think, like he said, we agree. I think that's how the host feels too. Like, this is some bullshit Keyshawn came up with. I really believe that's what we're all thinking. I don't think none of us believe the Ukrainian dude did that.
I'm skeptical.
Is it possible? Okay, yeah. But
I'm skeptical, meaning when I say I'm skeptical, I'm saying I'm undecided either way. I'm considering all the options, but I need to see some evidence. And that's the other thing. No one's going to look into this. Top Rank doesn't want to press the issue. No journalist out there is asking the question.
That's true.
Let's see the CCTV footage. No one's asking the question.
That's true.
It seems like they just want to get away from this as quickly as possible. So at the end of the day, it seems like it might be relevant to continue talking about this. I don't know. But I mean, listen, either way, it was a good discussion. We do have to move along, caller, but
all right.
Anything else you want to say before we move on?
All right, no doubt. No, I appreciate y'all. Keep doing what y'all doing. I'm going to call in on the next show.
Thank you. All right, take it easy out there. Thanks for calling in.
Peace. All right, yep.
Yeah, that was a good call. That's one of those calls that we needed to. I was going to end the show, but then we got into this.
We ended up agreeing on one thing. At least that's we ended up agreeing that. Look, I didn't know where he was going with it, but yeah, I basically that's what he was saying. That he doesn't believe the whole thing is, I'm not talking about the other shit that we were talking about. And in terms of the topic, with Keyshawn and this whole, fruit basket or whatever, he basically doesn't believe, thinks it's fake. He thinks it's Keyshawn. I'm gonna say I'm leaning towards Teofimo or Keyshawn's crew.
Okay,
that's my personal opinion. I'm leaning towards them.
Go ahead. When you hear that, that's the alert. But just keep going. Keep going.
No, I'm sorry. Just that's who I'm leaning towards. I'm leaning towards Teo playing some games because he's from New York. He would know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. The only thing is that there's cameras everywhere, like I explained. You can bust this case really easily. Or Keyshawn and his crew, or somebody in Keyshawn's crew. One of the two. For me.
I could bust this case like you said too, man. I could bust all over it in seconds, but nobody really seems to want to get into it for some reason. They don't want to investigate. By the way, shout out to.
It's just assumptions, though. At this point, that's all.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm skeptical. I don't know if it was Theo. I don't know if it was Keyshawn Davis. I don't know if it was Berinchyk. I don't know who's caught. I don't know who's not. I don't know who's alive. I don't know who's not. Let's go. By the way, shout out to Mr. Chirac for his contribution with the super chat. He says, when Berinchyk beats 3-division champ Navarrete, no, excuse me, did he say beats or beat? Anyway, who's still in his prime, the LDBC said that he beat a bum. But when Keyshawn beats a mega wash 50-year-old Cepeda, he's the future. Also, the caller only called all other races about them being racist, but didn't say anything about the Alabama wind chimes being racist. Well, I mean, he did say at one point everybody's racist. So I think he did sort of say that, yeah, everyone's racist. But that's the other thing. I don't think a lot of fans are racially motivated. Ah, my goodness gracious. I mean, I've talked to enough boxing people on the internet to know that it's a minority that are really racially motivated. And again, I've been on the message boards. I've been here for, what is it now? We've been here since 2017. So that's about 7 years, no, 8 years. It's going to be 8 years now. And it's only really on YouTube where I see a congregation of racially motivated people. Other than that, I don't really see it outside of YouTube. Shout out to Luis Sainz for his contribution to the Buy Me a Coffee app. And he says, is it possible Bomac cut the watermelon in half, hollowed it out, and wore it as a helmet while wearing his diaper and eating Cheetos? First of all, that's a heck of an image right there, Luis. I resent you for creating that image. But then again, you paid for it, so legally I am bound to read it. So shout out to Luis Sainz. Quite an imagination right there, man, on him. I will say, though, by the way, if you... Well, hold on a second. We got a caller here. Let's go to 203. 203, you're on the air. 203, what's on your mind?
Hey, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, man. What's up?
Well, I just got out of the gym and getting my head bashed in, so I couldn't hear the show. But I do want to put my 2 cents in this, and I want to say something that might have not been said. Regardless of who sent the fruit basket, the epistemology of the fruit basket, I think that Keyshawn is not a person who would care about getting sent some bananas and watermelon. I don't think he was a person that would care about that, and I don't think that it would fuck him up. But what I do think fucks him up is now the pressure of not knowing who sent it and of having to now kind of defend this and play this up. I don't think he's comfortable with that. That's what I don't think he's comfortable with, and it came across that way with his attitude and behavior during the press conference. He seemed to be the one that was not on top of the situation. He seemed to be the one that was kind of thrown off by it. But it's not because of the racialness of it, but it's just because it's a wrench in the works from who knows where. Now, is Berinchyk steam above this? Hell no. I'm Ukrainian. I could see them doing that 100%. Probably one of his buddies. I could see it happening 100%. That's. I mean, it's I could see it happening.
Interesting.
I don't see it happening from Keyshawn's team. I don't see it happening from Keyshawn's team. I don't think Bomac would do something like that. I don't think he would resort to something like that. And I know people that know Keyshawn, and they tell me that he wouldn't do that. So my final point, and I'll wrap it up. My final point is that what's fucking Keyshawn up is not the racialness of the fruit basket incident. It's the not knowing who did it and having to act upon it and show the public some kind of reaction. He's not comfortable with that.
Interesting point. Very metaphysical there, caller. I gotta give it up to you, man. Yeah, it's got people talking. That's for sure. I'm very interested in. It's a big mystery.
And I mean, they could figure it out if they needed to, if they wanted to, if they could figure it all out. But who cares about that? The fight's happening tomorrow, whatever. I think the only way Berinchyk is going to win is by a knockout. He will not outpoint Keyshawn. But this is the thing. Keyshawn has a glass chin. And so if he runs into a shot, he's got to be careful.
Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Well, we'll stay tuned tomorrow, see what happens. Hopefully we get a good one. Caller, good call. Thank you for it. And call back next time, right, man?
All right. Thanks, man. Bye.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, the caller said he got his head bashed in at the gym. Got to be careful there, man. You got to protect yourself at all times. Learn the art of defense. You don't have to slug it out, but you don't have to run. You don't have to run, but you don't have to slug it out either. All right. Well, listen. That's it for today. We do have to go. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to everybody who called in, first of all. Everybody who donated via the Buy Me a Coffee. Everybody who hit the like. Shout out to Recognize Chief, who was here earlier. Salute. Sobers and Gonzalo. Shout out to you guys. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. We got to go, man. We went over half an hour here. So we got to go. But shout out to you fellas. Don't forget, tomorrow we have the fights. I think Bucho said he might be doing a Open Lines Friday show right before the festivities. So make sure to tune in. Check your notifications to see if that happens. And that's about it, fellas. Thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it. What else? Oh, yeah, by the way, well, we'll talk about this. We'll talk about this later on. But apparently, Bam Rodriguez and Martinez, El Pumita, are in talks for a fight. So it seems as if El Pumita, it's a very good fight. It seems like no more Ioka rematch. They're going straight for the big one in Bam Rodriguez. So let's see what happens.
Much better matchup.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to hit the like. Go check us out over at Patreon for free content incoming. Don't forget, if you want to donate, you can do it via the Buy Me a Coffee app. Hit the like on the